Honk.
Honk, as they always say. What's going on, everybody? Oh, wow. Check out the timing on Triffid right there. Good stuff, Triffid. Thank you so much for the 42 months of support. That is indeed the answer. Of course, the answer to the universe is indeed 42. Thank you so much, Triffid. And welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream and welcome to our conclusion, I suspect, of the gamebook illustration stream. I am very much excited to be able to get this rolling and to get back into the swing of things because it's been a couple of months since we've been able to do this. And so I am looking forward to it. And I hope everyone will spread the word and let people know that we are here and ready to go and rolling and all that kind of good stuff. Before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the channel. If you have not done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube, where you can see past broadcasts with this and other streams. If you have not already done so, please check out our Discord, the !ArvCord, where you can, as I say, hang out with your Arvanauts in between streams. !ArvTweets is my Twitter, where you can follow, because I'll always post when I'm going live and stuff like that. !ArvSky is my Blue Sky channel, where you can always, or my Blue Sky account, where you can follow. And again, I always try to post now when I'm doing that too, although I can't wait until we finally get one and only one social media situation where so I don't have to be doing, two or multiples. So that would be lovely. But anyway, !ArvSky over there. And then the website for all this, as always, is arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can see a lot of stuff directly related to the amazing TariToons. If you like what you see today with illustrations and you're like, man, where do I get more stuff by the incredible TariToons? I'm glad you asked, because you can find out more of that information simply by putting in some emotes into the chat, and you will see even more evidence of TariToons' awesomeness as an artist. So you can check that out with the various emotes that are there, and you can get those if you subscribe to the channel. You can also get those with the illustrations that we have available, some of the art that TariToons has done for our various merchandise on the channel. That's !ArvShop. !ArvTreon is the Patreon. Again, we have a subathon coming up at the end of the month, which is going to support both the Patreon and the subs and the channel. So I'm really hoping that that's going to do some good stuff for us. I would love that if it could be. Please mark your calendars for the 29th and 30th. That is actually only 2 weeks from this coming Friday. So that's true, actually. That would be pretty funny if we had like an art. That's actually really funny. An Arv shirt with like every, proud member of the Arvanauts, and then just have the thing on the front. That would be pretty cool. I'd have to think about that. I imagine Tari might be okay with that, maybe, theoretically. Anyway, so !ArvTreon, and then subbing to the channel to get those emotes. There you go. The ones that Triffid has just put up there. Those custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff. We have a ton of good things available that you can get there. And of course, it also supports the players on the channel in our various tabletop campaigns. So please do jump on board with that. And on the publishing side, !Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts. !Library, my tales and tomes from the Forbidden Library. My 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And Greyshade is my Greyshade universe. First 2 books in the Grey Assassin trilogy, Greyshade and Renegade, are already out, and you can order those now. You can also order an audiobook of Greyshade from the amazing Trent Sparks, and you can pre-order Heretic, the final book in the series, which I am working on as we speak. That'll be out next year. And you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game, which is being designed by Brandon O'Brien. That will be out from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and that is going to be play-tested later this month, so I am very excited about that. Please make sure you check that out as well. And last but certainly not least, !BLM, Black Lives Matter. Important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And !Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message that we will do so for others in the future as we go. Quick note on scheduling. today is a busy day for us. We've got this going on until right around 3 p.m., maybe a few minutes after. Then at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, I will be over at GOG.com's Twitch channel with more D&D and GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, so I'm very excited about that. And then we'll be back here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for a full crew production of the Arvocalist with Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, as we are in the home stretch of that game, and we will be joined today by everybody, by KP, by Rem Alternus, by Zach Clay, and by our newest Arvocalist member, Indy, Jordan Gonzalez, who is now a regular member of the Arvocalist. So that's all happening tonight. Very busy schedule. Very excited for all of it. But I'm also excited right now to introduce the amazing TariToons. So I have unmuted myself, and then I'm going to unmute her, and we're going to head over to reveal to all of you what you see here before you. And that is clearly No Man Greyblade preparing for what is to come with Midnight Rogue. Hi, Tari. How's life in the universe and everything?
Hi. Thanks for having me. Life in the universe. A bit monotone considering that I'm doing nothing but playing Baldur's Gate. But yeah, I think a lot of people in the audience might be able to relate. So... I mean, I have been taking a little break to draw some fan art in between.
Which is good.
After my first playthrough.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that fan art too that you posted up there. So it looks good. So you're after the you had some mixed feelings, and after the first playthrough, what's your general assessment? Good work, but it's not.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's a fantastic game, but it's not for everyone. And not for the same reasons the previous games were. Like, the previous games are just not for everyone because, clunky gameplay and stuff, very antiquated, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
This game is just very, very dark in ways I have not seen any video games go dark. So it's a lot. So, yeah. If, like me, you have a weak heart and get way too attached to characters and that kind of stuff, you will be crying at some point, probably. Well, it kind of depends on your choices in the game, but yeah, it got to me really bad at some point.
Wow. So it's one of those deals where so it definitely got its hooks into you, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Or its tentacles, rather.
Or its tentacles, yes.
So.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yes. Interesting. Yeah, no, I've heard multiple things like that. After I'm done with Styx, which is the video game I've been playing right now, the Goblin one, then, which is only, I think I have one more session on that. Then it's going to be Starfield, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the sort of next big sprawling Bethesda style RPG. And I never was a big Bethesda person really until Skyrim hit. At which point I was like, well, this is pretty cool. But I've seen now a lot of good stuff on Starfield, and I'm excited to try that and to kind of see where we go on the RPG side. But
you are a big Star Trek fan, aren't you?
I am a big Star Trek fan. So yeah, and I'm more of a fantasy guy than science fiction, but yes, Star Trek and Star Wars are big things for me anyway. And I teach science fiction as well, so it fits. It all matches in that description. So it'll be cool. I'm excited for it.
Neither a Bethesda fan nor a Star Trek fan, so I'll be passing up on that one.
Understood.
Despite, my brother trying really hard to convince me otherwise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your brother's like, you have to do this. Oh my God, it's so important.
But I'm not into that. Leave me be.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen. There are some people are going to be more into it than other things. I'm not a particular vampire, story person. So I'm not, when stuff comes out, I'm like, yeah, whatever, not so much. So that's cool. And fortunately, we have two massive games to be occupying us regardless. So, including BG3. So
well, I mean, otherwise I'd just be replaying Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 for the 500th time. So.
Yes, exactly. Your 7 millionth playthrough.
No, I would be playing Pikmin 4 actually, which I put down halfway through to play Baldur's Gate 3. So.
Yeah, Pikmin just never was on my radar one way or the other.
Yes, same.
I have no opinion. I am just neutral about the Pikmin stuff.
Yeah, I never had a GameCube growing up. The first time I ever heard of Pikmin even was with one of the Smash Bros games that had the main character in it. I don't know if it was Melee or Brawl. but I'd literally never heard of Pikmin before that, and I haven't played Pikmin until this year when Pikmin 4 was announced, and Nintendo ported all the previous games to the Switch. So I played those, and it's like, oh, delightful! I love it.
That's
so
pretty
cute.
cool. Yeah, there's some of those things that kind of cross over for me with Nintendo stuff. Like the big one for me is the Metroid stuff, because I love Metroid, and Metroid Dread was amazing and all that. So anything along those lines is usually going to work, in my favor. But I did get, because my son and I went to this retro video game thing a couple of weeks ago that they were having up in Hartford, Connecticut. And so the thing that he really got into, so I ended up getting this, was Mario Kart. And I played like the Mario Kart back from like, in my college days, like Super Nintendo or whatever, those versions of it. And that was actually the one that we played there. But what you have on the Switch, of course, is Mario Kart 8, which is like, you could actually see the characters and it's all crisp and clear and stuff like that. And you can play up to 4-player local co-op. So I can actually play with him and his sister. And, so that's been fun. And it struck me as I was playing it, I'm like, Switch is it's a good console. They got, I'm not a huge fan of the Zeldas on there, but that's just me. But I love the Metroids. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love aimless. I just bounced off of Breath of the Wild pretty hard, and I'm not my bag. But I love Metroid Dread. I played one of the Metroid Prime remaster on there, which was great. I played the Ring Fit of all things. Got played on there.
Oh my god!
Toad's
yes,
Treasure Tracker, which was a ton of fun with my daughter. So like,
oh yeah, that one was great.
Yeah, like
too.
Nintendo, honestly, like the Switch is a good console. They did a good job with it, and
yeah, I love the Switch.
So I was very happy with that. So
speaking of Pikmin 4 has local multiplayer.
Oh, nice.
I think your kids would fucking love that game.
Yeah, would they?
It is really nice. Like honestly, it's so cute and so.
I could see
it's
that.
Also like very different from any other game I've played before, which is weird. It's like very unique.
Do you ever play Lemmings?
I did play Lemmings before, like 500 years ago.
Okay, because there's a little bit of sort of a little element of that to me about
there is definitely I can see that.
That has that kind of feeling. So yeah, but anyway, good stuff. So we have like games that kids would love and games that are not appropriate for children, and we have.
Well, I know that Baldur's Gate 3 does have like filters and stuff. Like I know there is like.
You have to put a lot of filters on Baldur's Gate 3 though, if you were gonna.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how much game there would be left after filtering everything. Like this game.
Exactly.
Like there's a menu in this game, just like a stupid fucking interface that you need to use, which grosses the shit out of me the way it's designed, and it's like fantastic and appropriate and absolutely disgusting. And
absolutely
I hate it.
Disgusting. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, basically. It's like probably triggers like up to 3 phobias at once in various people.
Yeah, the game definitely, which even from like the trailer, I felt that way. It was just like, oh god, why? But that's also, as I mentioned to you before, like I don't like mind flayers. I don't. There's a creature that I'm like, bleh. So when the whole thing was about them, I'm like, yeah. And I know it's not all about them, but I'm saying they're obviously a significant portion of the game and like thematically.
Yeah, I did say on the server like there aren't actually that many mind flayers, and then like of course like the same next time I loaded up the game and it was like all mind flayers suddenly with the next story portion. So it's like
they knew, they heard you. They heard
me. Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's get into what we've got. So do you want to show some of our previous illustrations here? And then we will get into things that we go. We have a small turnout at the moment. We hopefully will get a few more folks as we go along, but let's see what we've got. Oh, let me also fit that better. Hold on a second, because right now it's too low.
Should be the same dimensions as Oh wait, it's also cut off on my end, isn't it?
Hang on. Once I get this, now I have it centered. That should be right.
God damn it.
Now it's not centered anymore.
Also, I don't know if it actually makes a difference because now I have 4K monitors. So
you have 4K monitors.
Yes. Oh god damn it. Game.
All right. Well, when you have it set up the way you want, you tell me, and then I will adjust.
Okay, this should work there. But yeah, I don't know if it makes much of a difference for people on their end.
I'm going to put like this, and then I'm going to expand like that. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Okay, so there is our hero, No Man Greyblade. No Man Greyblade, who is the who has dealt with gargoyles and a temporary lack of lockpicking, and then things like that. And yet another example of No Man Greyblade.
These might as well not be in order. I have no idea. This was a redesign of the coat of arms of
for Port Blacksand.
Port Blacksand,
which is what, like, just for comparison's sake. So there's the if we can focus on that. Yeah, so there's the actual original of it, and then that was redesigned.
On stream, that's actually the same size as the little one that's that I used as a reference pic.
Oh, I see. Actually, I see. Yeah. I see. Yeah. I just looked up and I saw that it had that one. Yeah. So it has the reference. So same way. Very cool. Yep, that was a redesign of that.
We fought the gargoyle.
Yep, the Battle of the Gargoyle, which we won both times. It was just whether we lost stuff in the process.
Yes. And there was the moment where we figured that, maybe we need to restart this game.
Yes. The part where, like, we can't, as a rogue, we need to have a way to get into doors that are not meant for us. Amazing.
Yes.
So we did that.
That is, what's his name? The dude that we're supposed to steal the gem from?
Oh, yes.
What is his name?
I will find it. I will find it. The Eye of the Basilisk is what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Brass, that's his name. The merchant named Brass, who is hidden it outside the city, and we had to discover where. So that's Brass, as you can see. Looks like
that was a fortune teller we met, I
That's
think.
right. Yep. That was a fortune teller who gave us information, and also information that we needed to know about where to look for this thing, which we did eventually find. The random beggar who's like, have a grappling hook. Yeah. Which still feels to me like, how do we get them a grappling hook? Well, I don't know. Let the beggar have it. Like, why would a beggar be holding a... Anyway. Yes. I love that we have a grappling hook. I like your little... What did they call that? The sort of the glare off of the object. What's the technical term for that?
I guess action lines.
Action lines? Is that what it is?
Okay. I don't think it counts as action lines because it's not indicating action. It's just like supposed to draw your attention to this piece. Like,
yeah, like, wow, the grappling hook.
Yeah, basically. Then just making our way downtown, walking fast.
Faces pass. Yep.
Yeah.
She's not homebound though. She's gembound.
No.
Or they're homebound, gembound, I should say.
I think that one was the first drawing for this next section. That looks like a warm-up drawing.
Sounds right. Section, like we eventually got the keys. Yep.
Yeah. Then, the inventory drawing. Where I had drawn a torch, and then before I could finish, the torch was already gone. And instead we got some booze, so I had to draw that over.
I love that you added on top of it the booze that just looks like literally a Post-it note that has just been put on. I love that. It's tremendous.
That was the point.
Yep.
But yeah, a sword, scabbard, rations, a hooded lantern.
Yep. We got a tinder box in there. Yep.
And a knife.
The knife. To fight the Knigget.
Then we found a safe that wasn't so safe.
Oh man, you had the skeleton key and the 3 lockpicks, and the that was very funny.
Oh yeah, the pond with the piranhas.
I forgot about that. That was the one that was in front, I think, of the place we eventually had to get into where the gem is supposedly being kept. I forgot about the piranhas. I like how the piranhas are somehow angry but still cute at the same time. Like,
just like me.
Is that how it goes?
Then we fought some skeletons.
Yes, the Battle of the Skeletons. I remember that quite well. We did a lot in this game, actually, in this book.
Right. That was like a big skeleton dude.
Yes. With who was the one that we had to defeat shortly before we got to our save point that we're at now, I believe. Yeah.
So that was the last one, I think.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, so yes, our job here is to get the Eye of the Basilisk. And we have managed to make it into this place which was outside of town. That it was around Barrow Hill is where we ended up saving it. And as you can see, we have our statistics are as laid out there. We have a skill of 12, which is a big deal. Skill of 12 really helps. We have stamina of 19, so we're in good shape there. Our luck could be better. We have 7 out of 9 luck, and we've already used up our fortune potions, so we're just going to have to hope that we don't need to be lucky. We're going to have to make our own luck, I guess. 47 gold, so we're doing well there. We have 7 provisions, so we're fine on that score. We have a magic longsword. We have a short sword. We have a leather jerkin and leggings, bronze helmet. We have a stone axe in an antler haft. We have a backpack which has 6 items, so it's full up. We have the hand lamp. We have a brandy with 2 doses, 2 stamina each. We have a tinderbox, dagger, provisions, the silver paper knife, as previously mentioned. We have a key marked with the letter L. And then we have so far only one, what we have decided to call not death count, but a delayed success count. A temporary setback count is how we look at this. Tactical
this is some
pause count.
Yeah.
It's like people who talk about save scumming, and it's not that. It's tactical save use. That's what this is.
Of course.
It's not death.
Oh yeah. Also, one thing about Baldur's Gate 3, definitely, for anybody who hasn't played it yet and plans to play it, don't like save scum unless you really need to. It's way more fucking fun without it. Like, trust me, it's so much better. Like,
because
I've been doing
failures
very
lead
little
to
save scumming in my second playthrough now, and it's so much better. Like, the flow is so much better, and also like fumbling a roll is not as like game ending as one would think in most cases. So
that's what they said about Disco Elysium as well, that like if you just you kind of roll with whatever the rolls are, both successfully and failing, and yeah, it's hard because there is sort of a tendency to be like, but what happens when I miss this thing, and what do I not learn?
Yeah,
and, all that stuff. All right, well, let us get into it. Music. We should put up music. What do we want for a soundtrack for today? I think we've done the thief.
Know.
We've done the thief ones,
and we did Styx. That's why you started playing Styx.
That's why I started playing Styx.
Because you were like, maybe I should play that game.
Exactly. This is cool. We could do. I'm trying to think if I did the Dishonored OST. I probably did at some point.
Yeah, probably that rings a bell. What other like sneaky games are there?
So we have the Thief games,
Metal
the
Gear
Dishonored
Solid,
games.
but that doesn't fit setting wise.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Assassin's Creed?
I hate Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay.
I will leave if you put on Assassin's
So no
Creed.
AC, okay. So no Assassin's Creed.
Like, I have an irrational hatred against Assassin's Creed because I used to have a friend years ago, back when Assassin's Creed 2 had just come out, and they would not shut up about this game and demanded I played it, and they ruined it for me.
I understand. I do like Assassin's Creed, but I will happily hold off.
That's fine. I can't stand it.
Let's see. So we have there's like Splinter Cell, but that's again not the right setting. Yeah, it doesn't fit the setting.
I mean, does this speak anything against just reusing another soundtrack that we already used?
No, I think we definitely can. I would say
Did we do all the Thief games?
I thought we did.
We may not
have done the Thief Modern, the reboot.
Possibly.
That one, which I still liked. It's not as good as the originals, but it's better than people give it credit for. Man, that came out in 2014. Good God.
Yeah.
All right, that's crazy talk. All right, let me hold on one second. Let me just get over to it, and then I'll send you a link. Go in here. Okay. Here is the link that we will put here.
I need to oh my God, I'm so looking forward to the Switch ports of all the Metal Gear games, because I'm going to make my boyfriend play these. And I'm just going to sit next to him and cry the entire time.
That's, yeah. As he's just like, Snake. I think I got all the way up to Metal Gear Sons of the Patriots, I think, which is 4, right? I think was the last one that I did.
Yes.
but I did not play Phantom Pain and all the other stuff. You really
Oh,
like
I tried to
Crouching Link
play
there, Triffid?
those, but like I hated the gameplay. It's like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people are like, oh, but like open world, this and that. Yeah, like I don't like the vast majority of open world games. I hate
Yeah.
them. They're not for me.
Yeah, I like some of them, but it has to be like I enjoyed The Witcher, but that had more sort of a through line, and it's something that it's the same thing with Skyrim. Again, like it was open world, but the once you got on these various quest lines, they kind of went in good directions. So I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, the only open world games that I ever like really, really enjoyed were Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
See, I put that in the same description
Because
as the no
like,
thanks.
yeah, but like for different reasons probably, right? Because like what I really like about those games, mainly, especially in Tears of the Kingdom, is the way the game does not just allow but built entirely on creative problem solution. Which I love.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh my god, it's fantastic.
That's fair enough. I think there are elements of that actually in the level design of sticks in terms of various ways to get through and across a level. It's not fully realized, but it would be interesting to see what they would do with like a remaster or like a 2023 sticks or whatever. But yeah, I do like the creative. It's sort of what Deus Ex has always promised, and I'm not sure that Deus Ex did as much as it thinks it does, but it's in that same ballpark of you have many different ways to get through the same process. So Triffid is liking the Crouching Link there that we see. And the power of shadows compel you. All right, I'm going to fire up this music here. Please let me know if the music is too loud, everybody.
Do you have a link for me?
I did. I put it in Zoom already.
Oh yeah. I have these two massive fucking screens, and I can't see shit without turning my head all over the place. This was
funny.
a terrible mistake.
You know what this is reminding me of, actually? Just as I started playing, I hadn't heard this soundtrack for a while, of the freaking soundtrack to the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, which I love. And it's Hans Zimmer who did that. But that's a dun 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 dun, like very hurdy-gurdy steampunk. I really
Hurdy-gurdy steampunk.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. I'm a big fan of those movies. I love the stylistic aspects of them. Okay.
I'm not sure I ever really watched them, to be honest.
Oh, they're great. I think you would enjoy those. Like I say, they're very stylish and it's good. It's good. And I think Guy Ritchie directs those. And the second one that has, oh my gosh, as Moriarty, what's his name? He's like very famous actor. Oh my God, he was in Lincoln he was Grant in Lincoln. I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up.
I did not see that one.
He's great. He's great. He's like he's a really good actor that every time you see him, you're like, you're going to be good in this, aren't you? And he's like, yes, I am. I'm like, all right, thank you. Yeah, he's great. Right. So, chat, we have been sent to get the Eye of the Basilisk. And we have managed to make our way down into the location of this place. And today is where it's going to, where the rubber hits the road, so to speak, or where the knife hits the eye socket of the statue that you're taking a gem from or something. Let's do this. Also, I will say that I am much better than I was, but this was a very stubborn sore throat / cough out of this cold that I had, thanks courtesy of my son. So I'm going to try to not overdo, if there are a couple of moments where I have to pause and, gently cough, hopefully muted and so on, please forgive me, everybody. Okay. So you follow the passage for what seems like miles as it winds onward. Finally, you see a light in the distance, and approaching cautiously, you can see that the passage opens out into a cavern, which is empty except for a lighted torch which hangs in an iron bracket on one wall. On the far side of the cavern, another passage leads off into the darkness. You cast a long shadow in the torchlight as you cross the cavern. It seems to move with a life of its own, but you tell yourself that it's only your imagination. But you are wrong. Before you can reach the other side of the cavern, your shadow dances along the wall in front of you and suddenly climbs down off the wall, becoming a solid shadowy being as it moves to attack you. Side note, that's really cool. Will you fight your own shadow, or will you try to use some other course of action, such as trying to run away before it can attack you, trying to douse the torch, trying to avoid casting a shadow, or trying to disrupt your shadow? Now, we have, as I said, lower turnout today. So before I start putting votes up there and so on, can I get a quick check-in with chat about who is lurking and who is active? So, like, who is going to be voting with us today? Can I just get a couple people mentioning in chat whether they are or are not? Because if not, then I will take over for this period of time. Reason with the shadow. Okay. Speak to the shadow about things. Shadow, I ask you? Okay, well, Triffid is going to be there. Do we have anyone else that is going to be jumping on board with the voting stuff? I will hand things over to chat, by the way, as soon as we get a few more people in. But I just want to make sure that I know who we've got and who we don't. Okay. So then we have to decide. I have to decide. Will I fight my own shadow? Will I try to run away before...
I can decide.
Well, all right, then you decide. Well, because you were already doing the art.
Of course we're fighting our own shadow.
Well, so, yeah, I was going to say, do we fight our own shadow? Do we try to run away before it can attack us? Do we try to douse the torch? Do we try to avoid casting a shadow? Or do we try to disrupt our shadow? So basically, fight, run, douse the torch, try to not cast a shadow, or disrupt our shadow.
So what my deep knowledge of esoteric Naruto lore teaches me.
Yes, I was waiting for how to get rid of shadows.
We should not make more shadow for this. We should make less shadow. So yeah, I would say disrupt the shadow somehow.
That would have been my thought. Either that or try to avoid casting it. But I think probably disrupting also makes sense too. Okay, so
we can't
let's see.
Really avoid casting a shadow. Then we would just put our shadow in a different spot, right?
That's true. What if we put our shadow somewhere? Yeah, I guess how would we do that? If we were right underneath the torch maybe or something, but then we'd have to get there.
We just need to hope that the writers of this book also read Naruto before they wrote this.
I was thinking about, I was also thinking about Ico. Do you ever play Ico?
Not myself. My ex played that while I was sitting on the couch, if that counts.
Yes, I would say that counts if you know what I'm talking about with the Shadow. Very stylish game. Same people who did Shadow of the Colossus, actually.
Yes. I did play Last Guardian.
Okay, yes. Well, I would have hoped so. Last Guardian basically has a cat that, you know, the whole time that you're dealing with. Love Last Guardian also. That's a good studio. They produce pretty much all the stuff they produce tends to be good stuff. Okay, so we're going to disrupt the shadow. So your mind works quickly. Of course it does, because we are No Man Greyblade. What's up, Hillness? They've subscribed for 75 months. The message that he included was, "It's been 75 years." It's that meme, you know, of like the woman being like, "It's 84 years." Thank you for this.
Name is Rose, by the way.
What's that?
Woman.
Oh, the woman's name is Rose, really?
Yeah, it's from Titanic. It's the main character.
Oh, I mean, I know about, yeah. I only saw Titanic once, and
I also only saw it once.
I only remember the basic
8.
things. Yeah, exactly. I was young. Okay, but hi, Helen. Good to see you. So you've subscribed for 75 months. Thank you for the 6 years and 3 months of support, Hellness, man. And welcome in. Okay, your mind works quickly. There's some kind of sorcery at work here, and you don't like the idea of fighting your own shadow at all. Then you have an idea. Shadows are caused when something blocks out light. They are patches of darkness. Now, if the shadow that's preparing to attack you is made of darkness, then you can probably use another source of light, such as the torch you are carrying, to dispel it. You hold the torch high, trying to keep it in a position where it will dispel the shadow cast by the torch on the wall. All right, seems logical. Holding your...
Greg, you said this is some kind of sorcery. No. I know this is the same author, but it is a different game.
Ah, I see what you did there. At first I was like, what?
That took you too long.
Well, because I was like, source of... Oh, yes, different game. Different game, entirely different game. But I see what you did there, and I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter. Okay, holding your torch before you, you edge closer to your shadow. It fades as the light strikes it, becoming less substantial as you move closer. It seems to sense the danger of the light since it makes no move to attack you as you head for the passage that leads out of the cavern. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Stopped our shadow. We clearly... If you have spot hidden, and we do, it says to... As you hurry out of the cavern, you notice a series of holes in the walls of the passage, 3 on each side at chest height. You crawl underneath them, and as you do so, a small dart shoots out of each hole. If you had been standing, they couldn't have missed you. Gain 1 luck point for evading the trap. Let's go. And follow the passage to 191. That is what I'm talking about. We needed that luck point, too. All right. And follow the passage. I am following the passage. Okay. So, I'm actually going to add a save point there because we did a lot of good stuff just in a row there, which was nice. You follow the passage onwards. After a little way, it broadens out and becomes more regular. The walls are made of stone slabs rather than being hewn out of the rock. You turn a corner and find a dead body in the passage, another thief by the look of things. A trail of blood indicates that he crawled back along the passage after being seriously wounded. You notice a symbol sketched on the floor in the thief's blood. He must have put it there as he lay dying to warn anyone who came after him. If you have the secret signs skill, but sadly we do not, and so I don't know what the hell the guy's saying, except he already died. You look at the symbol carefully. You think it's one of the secret signs of the Thieves Guild, but you have no idea what it means. Still, you're fairly sure there's something nasty ahead, and this dead thief was trying to warn you about it. You offer a silent prayer to the god of thieves, asking him to look after the dead thief in the next world and to look after you in this world, and then you prepare to move on. Shouldn't we switch that around? Like, can you take care of us first, and then, like, when we're having a nap, you can take care of the guy in the dead world? Like, just order of operations, you know? Okay. As you turn to move on, a glowing, almost transparent, bright blue something comes flying down the corridor at you. It looks a little like a severed human head, but you have no time to examine it closely as you throw yourself to one side. You must roll 2 dice. Okay, now the question is, do we have anyone in chat who is willing to act as dice roller for today? Or at least dice roller for this particular dice roll. If not, we have a way around that, but is there anyone who's willing to roll the dice for us? Oh, I see a shadow illustration coming up, and I already love it. I already see.
That perspective makes no sense.
Hey, what's up, Wenchkin? You would love to, but must sleep soon. You must sleep soon? Listen, isn't it true that in Australia it's already tomorrow morning? Even in your own country? How you doing, Wenchkin? You're sure? You could. It's 3 a.m. Oh, okay. Well, yes. Then that would not be tomorrow morning. Then it's or I mean extraordinarily early in the morning. So technically, no, I totally understand. Anyone else willing to do this? Willing? Maybe. If not, then we will have the dice decide on the power of the dice roller that I have here, which is thanks to ArvBot Plus, courtesy of Effect Life. You'll be here till no problem, Trippet. That's fine. You'll be here till I must pass out. Oh, I was just asking if anyone wanted to roll the dice for us. You don't have to do it the whole time. You could do it once or twice. Like, Wenchkin, I don't know, do you want to roll dice once or twice and then let us know when you have to pass out and we'll switch it over? Oh, speaking of Effect Life, speak of the devil, here is the aforementioned person. Welcome, Effect Life. Thank you for the 29 months of support. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Wenchkin, I know you have regular dice. So I will have you roll regular dice here, or you could also do what ArvBot Plus just did, which is as you see, the $ roll. So like $ roll space, and then in this case it would be 2d6. Oh, no problem. That's fine. Totally get that. Good to see you, Effect Life. Thank you so much for the support. $ roll 2d6 would be what you're looking for in chat, Wenchkin. So it's up to you. Either real dice rolling 2d6, or you can do it in chat the way that was described. You rolled 7, 3 plus 4. There we go. All right. Thank you. So it was equal to our skill score or less, which means you hurl yourself to the floor, and the thing, whatever it is, misses you by a whisker. It hovers above the dead thief's body for a fraction of a second, then sinks down into it, soaking into the dead flesh like water soaks into a sponge. The body twitches once and then drags itself to its feet. Well, crap. Your scalp tingles as the dead eyes stare sightlessly into yours, and the dead thief shambles to attack you. And all of a sudden you hear like, this is Thriller. Okay. Will you fight the animated corpse or try to run away? All right. This one is going to be very simple. I'll put this up here. So here we go, chat. Very simple. $ vote space 1 means we fight the animated corpse. $ vote space 2 means we run away. I was thinking in the dead eyes open. Do we fight the animated corpse or do we run away? Gonna be tonight. All right, Triffid has said, Wenchkin wishes to fight it. Triffid does not wish to fight it. We have a difference of opinion about whether to fight this animated corpse or not. Would it help if I said the animated corpse is capital A, capital C? So it's not just like, oh, an animated corpse. It's animated corpse. Like Darth Vader, but animated corpse.
So it's not actually maybe an animated corpse, it's just the same, maybe?
But that's true. That's true. But it seems like it's sort of like, you know, it's a $ and then change vote is all one word, Wenchkin, and then space and then 2. If you folks are not following Wenchkin, you should be, by the way. Wenchkin is an entertaining streamer, does lots of different stuff. Has been doing Starfield, I believe, as of late. There you go. All right, so that change vote is in. All right, I'm going to last call this. Thanks, Triffid. Going once. Going twice. Okay. We are going to run from the animated corpse, it is said. You run off up the passage, leaving the shambling corpse behind you. You have hardly gone 5 paces before you hear the corpse drop to the ground, and a streak of blue light slams into your back, knocking you to the ground. Well, that sucks. Lose 2 stamina and 1 luck point. Jeez. What the heck? All right, 2 stamina.
Greg, language.
Jeez. Okay.
Darn.
Shucks. My dad would do stuff like that. He said, well, you could always say things like blast it. I'm always like, blast it? I don't think blast it quite. The spectral glowing head hangs in the air before you, chuckling evilly. A little bit like this. That's chuckling evil.
The cough really makes it.
Yeah, thanks. Good golly gosh, that was unexpected. Exactly, Munchkin. It is a possessor spirit, and you have no option but to fight it. If you have a magic weapon, well, thank God we do actually have a magic weapon. Fight the possessor spirit normally. It says every time you lose a round of combat, you lose a luck point and stamina points. Yee, God. This thing sucks. All right, possessor spirit.
I mean, I think it's actually appropriate because we are playing a thief. Like, the point is to be sneaky and stuff, and probably to avoid combat, right?
Probably. I would think so. Although in this case, you know, who knows? The thing seemed to be pretty much like onto us from the beginning. Now, the good news is we have skill of 12. Our luck is not great, though, so we really need to make sure that we do what we need to do here. So, possessor spirit. Okay, so the way this is going to work is we are going to have Wenchkin, I'll start with you. So again, you're rolling 2d6, and then we're going to add our skill to it. So 2d6 plus 12, and then this creature is going to roll 2d6. So to begin this first one, we have got here a 6, 6 plus its skill, so a 16. So we rolled a 2d6 plus 12. That is a 19. We have obliterated this thing the first time around, so that's good. Drops it to 8 stamina. Okay, second round, it rolls a 7 plus 10, a 17. So we need to roll a 5 or a 6 is what we're going to need, basically. We need a 17 to tie and an 18 to beat. So if you can roll that same thing you did again, Wenchkin. Might want to cut and paste it, actually. Might be easier. All right, 24. So we have hit it again. I'll take it under advisement. Hit it again. Again, he rolls a 7. this spirit, but we dodge and weave, dodge and weave. Now we just need, once again, the same kind of a roll. 7 to tie, 8 to beat. In this here. So go ahead and roll that when you get the chance, Wenchkin. Go ahead and roll that again. Our third round of combat here. He waits with bated breath. You're being timed out? Oh, no. Oh, there we go. It's like, you just did this. That's funny. 18. That is enough to hit him again. Okay, so the spirit is down to 4 stamina. This time he rolls a 5. So all we need now is a 3 or a 4 on the 2d6, and we will 3 would tie. So basically a 13, a 15 or a 16 is what we need. 15 will tie, 16 will beat. It's funny he's being timed out. I don't know how to avoid that from happening, actually. There we go. 22. Very nice. And one more round awaits. Wow, he rolled terribly all through this, which is good for us. 6. So that means 16. So now we just need a 4 to tie or a 5 to beat. We need a 14 or we need a 16 to tie and a 17 to beat. Yeah, it's over 30 seconds between rolls. Oh, interesting. So you could add a space between the numbers and the operators to avoid the timeout. I see, I see. Okay, 23. Well, Wenchkin rolled awesomely, and the Possessor Spirit did not. So we did not get hit at all by the Possessor Spirit. So good work, Wenchkin. Nice work, nice work. Good performance there. We have won. We did not lose any more stamina or any more luck points, which is nice. The Possessor Spirit disappears in a shower of bright blue sparks. That's what I'm talking about. A rapid search of the body turns up 5 gold pieces on a spirit. Okay, 5 gold pieces. A throwing knife. Okay. Only the wire counts as a backpack item. Okay, that's cool. So a throwing knife. An instant win card. No, I made that up. A long piece of heavy wire with a hook at the end and a flask. Okay, the only thing that is a backpack item, let's see, the flask has been cracked in the fight, and a potion is leaking out of it. There's a potion left enough for 1 drink, but only if you drink it now. Interesting. Do we even know what the heck it is?
Potion. Gives us potion powers.
Yeah, so before I go on, let me just quickly say, should we drink the potion? So $vote space 1 means that we should drink the potion. $vote space 2 means we should not drink the potion. Sorry. Turned off the music by accident. Okay, there we go. Aha, Wenchkin and Triffid both believe that we should drink the potion. All right, I'm going
chug,
to...
chug, chug, chug.
Chug, 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 chug. Okay. And we are going to drink the potion. And what it says is you are instantly killed. No. When you drink the potion, it restores your skill score to its initial level. Oh, that's actually sweet, although our skill score was already at its initial level, but we wouldn't have been able to keep it with us anyway. So the only thing that counts, the only thing that we have here is, that we can't use, is we have 6 items. And this thing that we have, this wire with a hook is the only thing that counts as a backpack item. Now, the thing is, we have provisions. We don't want to get rid of those. All the provisions counts as 1 item. The silver paper knife counts as an item. We have a dagger. That counts as an item. We have a tinderbox, a brandy. Actually, you know what? The dagger should not count as an item because the throwing knife doesn't count as an item. It specifically says that. So if I put that where it belongs... I think it didn't specify before, then we can just take it. So unless anyone has an objection, I'm going to take this wire with a hook and put it in our backpack. So we already got the flask, so we're good to go there. All right, good stuff. You move onward along the passage, following the trail of blood left by the dying thief. Oh, one quick note, too, by the way, chat. Do we want to take one of our provisions? Because we are currently sitting at 17 out of 19 stamina, and we have 7 provisions. So do we want to have our provisions or not? You can just tell me in chat if we should eat or should not eat. It will restore 4 stamina points. We could also, and the thing is, provisions we can take outside of combat. The brandy we can use inside combat, which is why I'm not using that one, because we might need it if we got into trouble. So, is chat in favor of us eating our provisions so we can get back up to full stamina or not? What say you, chat? Should we eat our provision or not? Munchkin says, yes, we should. Others going once. Going twice. Triffid says, okay. All right. So we will go down to 6 provisions now. We're back up to full 19 out of 19 stamina. All right. Having eaten a sandwich, we can now head along. You move onward along the passage following the trail of blood left by the dying thief. The trail leads to a door in the left-hand wall of the passage. The door stands ajar, and you peer through the doorway into a room furnished only with a great iron cage. Locked in the cage is a dwarf. "Let me out," he pleads. "I'm a thief like you. I used to be a thief like you, but I took an arrow to the knee. No. If you let me out, we can look for the eye of the basilisk together." Should we let the dwarf out of the cage? Do we want to make sure he's a thief first, or do we ignore him? So, do we let the dwarf out? Make sure he's a thief first, ignore him, and carry on. All right. And the vote is up there. $ vote space 1, let the dwarf out. $ vote space 2, make sure he's a thief first. Or $ vote space 3, ignore him and carry on. Because if we vote for 1, then we would have to, who let the dwarf out? Who? Who let the dwarf out? All right. It looks like chat is coalescing around the idea of making sure he's a thief. Are you a thief? All right. Going once. Going twice. And... all right. Something makes you suspicious, and you decide to make sure that the dwarf is telling the truth. After all, the dead thief you passed was severely wounded in this room, yet there's nothing here but a caged dwarf without a scratch on him. Who is the master of the Thieves' Guild, you ask? If the dwarf really is a thief, he will know the answer. The dwarf does not answer your question. He reaches through the bars of the cage trying to catch hold of you. He seems to grow bigger. His skin becomes green and scaly, and spines erupt all along his back. With a ferocious snarl, the shape changer bends the bars of the cage, preparing to attack you. Do you want to stand and fight the shape changer, or leave the room before it frees itself? So do you want to stand and fight the shape changer, or do you want to leave the room before it flees itself? So $ vote space 1 means stand and fight the shape changer. $ vote space 2 means leave before it frees itself. Yeah, and the thief had the whole thing about, like, he was just lying there on the ground. I bet that sign was like, watch out, shape changer thing. I love that shadow.
Well, it does not love us, I think.
Okay. Going once. As I last call this. Going twice. And... Okay. So we are going to leave before it frees itself. It says roll 2 dice, and if it's equal to your skill score or less, but because we can't actually get less than our equal, we can't get above our skill score, that means we're all good. So we are good to go. Before the shape changer can free itself.
Can't get above our Kilgore.
What's that? Say again?
Can't get above our Kilgore.
Can't get above our Kilgore, exactly.
Yeah.
Before the shape changer can free itself from the cage, you leave the room, slamming the door behind you. And feeling rather smug about it, I would think. You carry on down the passage. It narrows abruptly, and the dressed stone walls give way to rough-hewn rock again. Soon you see why. Both walls are dotted with small holes about 3 inches across. Between the holes, the floor is littered with bones and other rubbish. A rat, disturbed by the light of your torch, skitters down the passage in front of you. As it goes, it disturbs some of the rubbish, and instantly a sharp-jawed, caterpillar-like creature, something like a rock grub but smaller and faster, shoots from each of the holes attracted by the noise. The rat doesn't stand a chance and is quickly torn to pieces. This is also known as every intro scene to every Star Wars movie ever. Involves some little creature being, seized by some other bigger creature. You wait for the grubs to return to their holes and then move forward cautiously. You must move absolutely silently in order to get past without disturbing them. But it says, turn to a certain page number if you have the sneak skill. And guess who has the sneak skill? We do. Hardly daring to breathe, you pick your way through the bones and other debris. It seems like hours before you're past the holes, but finally you make it. You let out a sigh of relief, and as you do so, the grubs shoot from their burrows again. You shudder to think how sensitive their hearing is. Yeah, I hope you put on your sneakers before you went out. I agree. That is a serious concern. I totally agree with that. Okay. A few yards farther on, the passage widens again and is faced with dressed stone as before. You come to a door in the right side of the passage. Will you listen at the door, try to open it, or ignore it and carry on down the passage? So, should we carry on my wayward son? Listen at the door. Should we try to open it? Or ignore it and carry on? All right. Get your votes in, chat. Should we listen at the door, try to open it, or ignore it and carry on? Okay. Going once on this. Going twice on this. And... okay. We have listened at the door is the thing that is won. Okay. So we're going to listen at the door. You put your ear to the door and are taken completely by surprise when a plank whips round and hits you. It's a mimic! Mimic! Lose 2 stamina points. The door suddenly unfolds into a great humanoid shape. It is a wood golem, and you must fight it. Well, crap. All right. Skill is 8. Stamina is 6. So, ouch. So here we go. So, what we have to do here is... again, I will ask you, Wenchkin, to roll 2d6, and we're going to add 12 to it. I'm going to do this on my end as well. So 15. So we need a 15 to tie and a 16 to beat this wood golem. Okay, so we have beaten it easily. Now it says when you win a round of combat, turn to this thing, what kind of weapon are you using? If you are using a magic weapon, and we are using a magic weapon, wood golems are highly resistant to all forms of magic. Your magical weapon will behave like a normal weapon for this combat. I forgot about the fact that our magic longsword on hit, it adds 1 to our attack strength the following turn. I forgot about that. So we get more powerful as we go along. Okay, that's good to know. But it's not going to work this time, but that doesn't matter. It just works like a normal thing. So it's now down to 4 stamina. This time it rolls a 9. It's the try-hard wood golem. So it's a 17. So we need, again, a 17 to tie and an 18 to beat. A 17 will tie. That's fine. No harm, no foul. So no one gets hurt that time. This time it rolls a 4, which means just go ahead and roll go ahead and make the roll, Wenchkin, but whatever we get, we're going to win this round of combat because we cannot, we would have to roll a 0 on 2 days. You're doing the dwarf in the cage. That's funny.
Yes.
Okay, so that is we beat that round. Okay, it is almost dead, this wood golem. Rolls a 6. So again, we're in pretty good shape. We need a 14 to tie and a 15 to win. $14 to tie and a 15 to win. Was that a second 19 that you just rolled? I think it was. So that means that it's going to hit it, and we are going to destroy it. Good stuff from the wood golem, or from defeating the wood golem anyway. Good stuff again. With the wood golem destroyed, you were able to look through the doorway into the room beyond. It is a small room, barely 10 feet square, and it is filled with a huge pile of gold and gems. None of the gems looks particularly big, but the eye of the basilisk might be in here somewhere. If you search through the treasure, you can search through the treasure or ignore it and carry on up the passage. So there's a room filled with golden gems. It's not particularly big. The eye of the basilisk might be in here. So $vote space 1 means we search the room. $vote space 2 means we ignore it and carry on up the passage, my wayward son. All right, we have just one vote here. $vote space 1 means we're going to explore. We're going to look through the room. $vote space 2 means we will not do that. All right, waiting on things. Going once. Going twice. And all right. So we are, in fact, going to search through the treasure. Okay. You go into the room. There's more treasure here than you could ever carry, but a pocket full of gems will be enough to make you rich when you get out of here. Although the object of your test is the eye of the basilisk, the guild didn't say that you couldn't keep anything else you found along the way. You reach forward to pick up some gems, and suddenly the pile of treasure rears up, and you find yourself wrapped in the coils of a brightly colored snake. I feel like we're going through all the greatest hits of what you do to thieves in all these places, basically. Lose 2 stamina points as it squeezes you. We're down to 15. We may want to eat a provision after this, chat. You have heard of the Citalis, or treasure snake, which traps its prey with illusions of treasure. You have fallen for its illusion, and now you must fight for your life. Okay.
Getting the feeling that the whole thing might be a setup. like that everybody is in on this except for us. It's just like, oh, this is all just an elaborately designed gauntlet
Oh, wow.
just
As like a
for
test of
us.
some kind?
Yeah, because this is like our like final exam, right, or something
Mm-hmm.
at the
That is true. And
thief
if you're right,
school.
you're going to get mega plaudits for that if you turned out to be right.
Am I gonna get inspiration for the next
You will.
Lord of the Rings game?
No, but you will get my undying respect and admiration. You'll get that.
I already have that one, don't I?
Well,
So,
yes. But you know, maybe this will roll over. Maybe this will roll over to 2024. You'll just have it, you know, for the next year. Okay, Wenchkin. So again, time for us to roll. Actually, you know what I should be doing is just putting this in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm going to roll with that. So 16. That time we rolled a 22. So it says if you win the first round of combat, the snake is not wounded, but you have escaped from its coils, and you can't wound the snake till you're free of its coils. Okay. Well, we are now free of its coils, so that's good. All right. So now we have the roll. So you can see we have a 15. We need to roll a 15 to tie or a 16 to beat. A 20. Very nice, very nice. That means it drops 2 stamina. Okay. Next roll rolls a 13. Okay, you can roll this, but this is going to be an automatic win on this one. Yep. Okay, good. All right. It rolls a 14 this time. The worst we can do is tie it. That is an 18, so we once again hit it. Excellent. All right, this time it rolls a 16, so it's trying. We need a 16 to tie, a 17 to beat on this next one. We got a 16 to tie, so no harm, no foul. This time it rolls a 14 for this next round. This time we roll a 14, so we just need... And we rolled a 19 that time, so it's down to 2 stamina. And, oh, this time it really was the try hard. 19. Okay, we need a 19 to tie, a 20 to beat. Can we do it?
no.
Look at that. Wenchkin rolls the double 6. That is clutch as it gets. Well done. Okay. So, there we go. I'm going to suggest before we go any further that we have one of our provisions because it will restore 4 stamina points and it would still leave us with 5 provisions left over. Is chat all good with doing that? Challenge accepted. Yeah, good stuff, Wenchkin. Listen, I mean, look, with your experience, I mean, it's pretty clear that you don't want to mess with your dice rolling skill. Wenchkin says yes. We on board with eating our provisions, chat? Yes. Going once here. Going twice here. And I will assume that is a yes. We're going to drop our provisions to 5. We're going to increase our stamina back up to 19. Okay. Now that we've defeated it, I wonder if we get anything. If you win, which we did. Finally, the snake dies, and you find there's no treasure in the room, just the bones of its victims. You do find some provisions in a backpack, though, which is a little stale, but enough for 2 meals. Oh, okay. So we're right back up to 7 provisions. You also turn up a scroll of parchment. It appears to be a map of some kind of maze. That's interesting. Make a note of these items if you take them. A map of a maze. Well, let's see. A map of a maze. If we were going to get this, we would leave behind. I think we would have to leave behind, if I'm not mistaken, one of our items in the backpack. So what we could do is we could leave behind the silver paper knife, which is worth 5 gold pieces. We could leave that behind, and we could take... Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I forgot about that effect life. I'll do that. Absolutely. That is done now. So, chat, do we leave behind the silver paper knife so we can pick up this map? Because I don't think we want to leave behind the hand lamp. We could leave behind the brandy, but that's kind of like health. We don't want to leave behind our tinderbox. We certainly don't want to leave behind provisions. And we just got the wire with the hook. So... $vote space 1 says we leave behind the paper knife and we pick up the maze, like scroll of parchment maze thing. And $vote space 2 means we keep the silver paper knife and we leave behind the map. So $ vote space 1 is the map, and $ vote space 2 is the knife. 5 gold pieces, it can be far less than a good map. Yeah, especially if the map is leading us to a lot more gold. We better get credit for all this gold we're getting, by the way.
I mean, we are getting gold. That's credit. So.
Actually, it's better than credit. I don't need to
Yeah.
buy on credit. I'll give you cash. Okay. Right. Okay, so I'll last call this. Anyone else want to vote on this one, to weigh in on this idea? To take the map over the knife?
This looks weird.
Oh my god. Is that like... Oh, okay. For a minute I was like, wait, is he actually...
I'm like trying to do like an effect that like you see a lot of manga and stuff when like somebody's behind bars, where like basically the part in front of the bars in front of the face are like phased out.
Yeah.
So that you can see the character's face better. And I'm trying to figure that out right now. So...
Tough choice. What if we meet a werewolf? Well, that's true. But we do have a magic item, though. So we have that. Oh, thank you, Wenchkin. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you for the Prime sub. And yes, that reminds me, chat, don't forget, Subathon coming up 2 weeks from Friday. It is going to feature Starfield play. It is going to feature an Infernal Salon with authors writing based on prompts from the Negocios Infernales game from my friends Carlos Hernandez and C.S.E. Cooney. And also, every sub during that session is going to lead to them drawing a card and reading your fortune. Whoever gives the sub, so you're definitely going to want that. And it's going to add time. So if you want to see me play a whole lot on Friday, every time we get another sub, either tier 1 or an upgraded sub or whatever, or prime sub or something like that, that is going to add 10 minutes to the timer. So hopefully we will have a lot of people with a lot of subs. First ever subathon on the channel, so I'm excited for it. Okay. Seems you sub too early. No. Not at all. Not at all. The sub, because anytime a sub is made, it's a good sub. It's a good time at any point. Okay, going once, going twice. So you are, in fact, going to take the maze. I agree that that's a concern, Triffid, but I think that in this case, since we're far along in the book, I'm thinking it's more likely we're going to need this map of a maze than that we're going to need this silver paper knife. But if the next thing we meet is, some guy named Lupus, then, we'll know the deal.
It's not Lupus.
It's Lupin, I know. Finding nothing else.
It's a quote from House MD.
Oh,
It's
I didn't even know that
Lupus.
quote. It's not Lupus. It's not Lupus. Okay, finding nothing else of interest in the room, you leave and carry along the passage. All right. At last, the passage comes to an end. Oh, I just realized that we started playing Bach, which, although I love Bach, is probably not the right thing for this. So, let's see. Because it's not a very long soundtrack. Okay, I'm going to go to... I'm going to put this link in Zoom chat. This is Thief 4, which I want to say is actually what we just listened to, but it seems longer. And it's by the same, uploaded by the same person, so I think it's probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also a cool picture, too. Okay. So, you set off, at last the passage comes to an end. You had begun to think that it would go on forever, but you find yourself peering into a huge cavern with no visible exits. Is this the hiding place of the Eye of the Basilisk? The cavern is featureless, and its roof is lost in darkness beyond the range of torchlight. This looks like a boss fight, chat. I'm telling you right now. Anytime you hear, it's a huge cavern and there are no obvious exits, you move cautiously into the cavern and start to check the walls for concealed doorways or hiding places. Suddenly, it's always the right time for Bach, or maybe Offenbach. Offenbach. I actually really love Bach. Bach is my favorite classical composer. Okay, yes. Your attention's caught by a rattling noise from above you. You raise your torch and look up, trying to see where the noise is coming from, and see an immense spider, fully 5 feet across the body, dropping like a stone towards you. Roll 2 dice, please, Wenchkin, for me. We're going to see if this dice roller thing works in chat. So it's the same thing. Do just the 2d6. No skill added, just 2d6 this time. Ah, see? So Wenchkin rolled it. This is what we got. Yes, that is perfect. Equal to your skill score or less. So, very nice, very nice. Oh, I think we rolled twice, actually. But either way, it worked either way.
Dice so nice. Rolled them twice.
So nice rolling twice. Okay. 207, yes. You throw yourself to one side as the giant spider crashes to the cavern floor and barely have time to roll back to your feet before it is upon you. Fight the giant spider normally. Ah, but we have our magic weapon, chat. And we're going to get stronger every time. Skill 7. Stamina 8. Okay, we begin with a 9, 16. So we need a 16 to tie and a 17 to beat, Wenchkin. Hey, what's up, Echo? No, kill it. Kill it with fire. What's going on, Echo? $22 on point. Okay, so it loses 2 stamina and we get 1 attack strength added. So now you're going to add 13 to your next roll, Wenchkin. Oh, geez. Oh, I didn't add the thing. It doesn't count. I didn't add the skill. It doesn't count. I didn't add the skill. Woo! Glad that I rolled that. I made a mistake there, but I didn't include the skill, and now I have. Okay, so a 12, and you roll a 19. Outstanding. Actually, I'm curious if we would have won anyway. 12 plus 7. We would have won anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been regardless. Okay, so now you're rolling it plus 14. I'm a big fan of this sword. Dang. Fortunately, though, he rolls a 14, but he rolled terribly himself. So now it's up to 15. Nice. So basically we can't lose this next one. He is indeed the roll master. He's also been rolling quite well. Although I know he said he needed to go to bed at some point. 18. That is going to be it. We have killed the giant spider without losing a single round of combat. Okay. So that was good stuff. I like that sword quite a bit. Once the giant spider is dead, and it is, you are able to look around you. There are no passages leading out of the cavern apart from the one you came in by, so you decide to investigate the ceiling, which is lost in darkness. If you have climb skill, we do not sadly have climb skill. We did once have climb skill, but not now. You try to climb the cavern walls, but they're too sheer and you can find no handholds. You look again around the cavern, searching for a hidden door or some other way out, but find nothing. Test your luck. All right, we must test our luck. So 2 dice, please, Wenchkin, if you would. Yeah, that's the starter one that they have. It's overrated, must roll. Did you just roll a 4? That is really awesome because we needed actually low here. Our luck is down now to 6, which makes me very worried. But we were, in fact, lucky. So good work there, Wenchkin. And also, yeah, it's awesome. Well, happy Pride, Echo, and the D&D books, the 3-book collection. I actually that was one of the gifts that we gave out to the players from the Klein event back in May. You notice a strand of web, if that's the right word for a sticky rope the thickness of a ship's cable, which the giant spider must have dragged down from the ceiling when it attacked you. You give it a tug, and it seems to be firm, so you begin to climb it. As you climb, you realize that the cavern is really a huge vertical shaft, and soon you reach the main part of the spider's web, which is strung right across the shaft. You shudder as you notice several silk-wrapped packages hanging in the web, about the right size and shape to be human bodies. Others before you were not so lucky. Should we investigate the bodies or carry on climbing? So $vote space 1 means we investigate the bodies. $vote space 2 means we keep on climbing. Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Whoa, roll with the changes. Echo says, yes, 2 is moving on. Echo's like, let's get the hell out of here. And so we have 2 votes to investigate the bodies and 1 vote to move on. Oh, wait. No, Wenchkin. Oh, very funny, Wenchkin. Very funny. Look at him trying to manipulate Echo into voting properly. I see how it is. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Yes, I see both the D&D symbol and the D&D symbol in the middle of the keychain dice roll. Nice. Good stuff. Is that just plain, is that like regular metal or is that like silver or something, that left one? Those are both awesome. All right. So, last call here. Going once. You think it's fake metal? Yeah, never. I just make a suggestion. Yeah, sure, sure. Going twice. Okay. So we are going to investigate the bodies through the will of the lying Wenchkin. No, and Triffid. As you make your way across the web, you notice that some strands are sticky and some are not. The spider obviously uses the non-sticky strands to retrieve prey that has been caught on the sticky ones. You must try to avoid the sticky strands as you investigate the bodies. Roll 2 dice, and you may subtract 2 from the amount rolled if you have spot hidden. So if you could roll... Exactly. Oh, I never. So if you could roll, Wenchkin, 2 dice and subtract 2. Very nice. A total of 4. That is equal to or less than your skill score easily. So... Carefully cutting the spider silk from around the body, you find that it is indeed human. You avoid the face, you don't want to find out whether it's anyone you know, and concentrate on looking for usable equipment. You find a backpack with enough provisions for 2 meals, or up to like 9 provisions now. But that is all. You decide that you can't face investigating the other bodies, and you resume your climb. All right, I'm going to add another save point. We did a lot of good stuff just then. A lot of fights this time.
Can you describe again the scene with the spider?
Yes, so you're in the middle of a big cavern, and you look up just in time as this massive spider, 5 feet across, basically drops right down on us, and we managed to just dodge out of the way, like roll out of the way before it hit the cavern floor, and then we fought it from there. So it was like right above us.
I see. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to do that one. At the top of the shaft, another passage leads away. As you follow the passage, it gets damper and damper until moisture is running down the walls, and the walls and ceiling are coated with occasional patches of mold. Finally, the passage comes to an end. The wall at the end is covered with a thick coating of bright yellow mold, which looks almost like the fur of some strange animal. Oh, I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. There seems to be no way onward, but you're sure there must be a hidden exit. You've seen more than one apparent dead end already. If you have spot hidden skill, and we do... Absolutely have spot hidden skill. You notice something glinting in the blanket of mold that covers the end of the passage. Looking closer, you see that it is metal, part of a doorknob by the look of it. You reach to turn the doorknob, and then you see something else. To one side of the door that must be underneath all of the mold, there is a lump which you thought was just an irregularity in the rock. But as you look more closely, you can see that it is, dun dun dun, a body. The mold has grown over it and obscured its shape, but it is definitely a body. You stop and think. You remember hearing somewhere that there are types of mold which fire clouds of spores into the air the moment that anything disturbs them. The spores are poisonous and cause death almost instantly, giving the mold a fresh supply of organic matter to grow on. The problem is you have to open the door without disturbing the mold. It asks if we have pickpocket skill, and we don't. So then we have, will you try to burn the mold away with your torch, or cover your nose and mouth, charge the door, and hope for the best? So $vote space 1 is burn the mold away with our torch. $vote space 2 is cover your nose and mouth, charge the door, and hope for the best. So we have a vote for burning away the mold. We have a vote for charging the door and hoping for the best. What are we going to do, chat? Are we going to burn the mold with the torch or hope for the best? Burn the mold away. All right, we have 2 votes now. All right, going once on burning the mold. Going twice on burning the mold. Yeah, I was wondering about that too, but I can see that, Wenchkin. All right, you are going to burn the mold away. All right, let's see what happens. You thrust your torch into the mold, trying to burn it away from the door. Instantly, the air is filled with a dense mustard-colored cloud of spores. Roll 2 dice. All right, Wenchkin, roll 2 dice, please. A 5 is definitely equal to our skill score or less, so that's good. You hold your breath and throw yourself at the door. There's no time to think. You must try to break down the door and get out of the deadly cloud. Roll 2 dice. So again, we must roll 2 dice. Looks like we're going to end up having more or less essentially charged anyway, but... Okay. And once again, success on that roll. You hurl yourself against the door, and instantly the air is filled with a dense mustard-colored cloud of spores. The door swings open, though, and you half fall through the doorway into a small chamber, not stopping to breathe until you are well clear of the spore cloud. Whew, that could have been bad. You find a passage leading out of the chamber and hurry down it, eager to escape the spores. The passage forks, and you can see a number of turnings leading off from each side of either passage like a maze. Do you have a map? And guess what, chat? We do. You pull the map out of your backpack, study it for a little while, and mark out the quickest route through the maze. Following the map, you come through the maze in a matter of minutes. It's a good job you picked it up. You could get lost in that maze forever. Good thing we had the map. I was wondering if that was going to be useful for us fairly soon. All right. You finally come to when I have a picture for this one. You finally come to a small chamber carved out of the bedrock and devoid of ornament except for the occasional patch of bluish-green mold growing on the walls and ceiling. Nice, Trevor, nice. In the middle of the chamber, there is a chest on the floor flanked by 2 statues of armed warriors, apparently carved from some kind of translucent crystal. On the other side of the room is a door. As you approach the chest, one of the crystal statues starts to move. It draws a slim, needle-like sword of crystal and steps between you and the chest. You must fight the crystal warrior. All right, now let me see if I can get the picture here.
Ooh, crystal warrior.
Crystal
that
warrior.
One's gonna be drawn next.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can find the picture of it. I do. All right. I just need to open image in a new tab. Save image as.
Save image as. So. Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to bring that onto
saving
here.
Photos of donkeys.
What?
Casually saving photos of donkeys.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
This time I'm going to be revealing. Okay, where is it? Yes. All right. So. All right, chat. This is what it looks like when the doves cry. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. Wait, that's too far down.
Ow!
I want to go.
I just poked my eye with my finger because I'm a smart person.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just crying.
Oh no.
It's so sad. No, it's fine.
All right, here we go,
I'm
chat.
just clumsy.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you can make yourself feel better by seeing the Crystal Warrior pictures.
Ooh, not what I expected.
So there they are. They are holding there. So, thus, okay, Crystal. No, not Crystal. Crystal. 10 skill, 13 stamina. Okay. Wenchkin, if you would please. Were you modded out of something, Wenchkin, just then? Wow, they rolled a 12. Nice way to start. Double twos, or double ones, rather. You made a comment that needed to be checked. Oh, really? I'm sure it's fine. 18. Okay. Now it says when you win a round of combat. Turn to this page. If you are using a stone axe, the Crystal Warrior is wounded. Conduct the rest of the combat normally. If you're using any other kind of weapon, the Crystal Warrior is unharmed. You realize that you need a blunt weapon to wound it. Oh boy. Conduct the rest of the combat using the pommel of your sword, deducting 2 points from your attack strength. Okay, well, there's good news and bad news with that. The bad news is that we're even, but the good news is it doesn't say that we don't still get +1 to attack strength during the following turn, which suggests that we will continue to stack our skill. So for this second one here, he rolls a 20, and we roll a 21. Ha-ha! So now we're down to 11, and now you can roll this plus... no, it was minus... It was actually 2 points. It was actually 2 points, Wenchkin. So it should have been 2d6 plus 10, not 2d6 plus 11. But actually it doesn't matter because we would have tied. So that would have meant a tie. So that actually works out okay. It doesn't get hit though. This second time is 17. 2 points, but the second round was +1. No, because the first time we attacked it not with the pommel. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I get you. I got what you're saying. You're right. You're right. You're actually 100% right. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, that's right. 100%. Okay, so now we're back up to 12. Yeah, because we did hit it. Even if we didn't wound it, we still get the attack strength. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So yeah, now you can roll again on this one. So that's 19. Okay, so it gets hit again. Now we're up to a skill of 13. $14. Does your thief know how to sing and can he hit it very high? Exactly. $19 plus 13. It thought your thief was bullying? The hell? Bullying? Nice work on the auto mod, Twitch.
Oh yeah, like I remember last time, somebody got auto-moderated for using the word weakling.
Oh, jeez. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. that is auto-modded, not because I put in the word. I promise I did not put weakling as a banned word. I would not have done that. Wow. Wenchkin, irritated at the attempt to ban him, has hit with 2 double 6s. Now is up to a 15 strength for this thing. It's also rolling terribly now. Probably because it feels guilty. All right. So now we've got a 16 going on. Right. Exactly. We are our weakling's keeper, so to speak. 19. Okay, that is again better than what I had rolled. This time I rolled a 15. This time you've got a strength of 17. Or a skill of 17. Nice. That cumulative, like, +1 is pretty nasty. It is pretty nasty. Okay, and last one is he tries massive double tap, but it doesn't matter because we're just better. We're just better. And the Crystal Warrior is destroyed. That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. Okay. The first Crystal Warrior lies shattered on the floor. You watch the second closely, but it does not move. You take a look at the chest. It is securely locked. Do you have pick lock skill? And as we have previously discussed on here, we do indeed have pick lock skill. As you pick the lock, a jolt of electricity. What the lashes up your arm and throws you across the room. Lose 4 stamina points. There's even a picture of this, by the way. Here, let me see if I can do the. Yeah, hang on a second. It looks like this. Zap.
Yeah, yeah.
We are zapped. Now the good news is we have. The good news is that we have our provisions, so I'm going to eat one of our 9 meals so we get that back. If you're still alive, you open the chest. Inside is a disc of black obsidian, almost a foot across and so highly polished it reflects the light of your torch like a mirror. You reach in to take it, but do we have the spot hidden skill? And we do. You see that the disc is resting on a fine silver wire which runs out of the chest and connects to the ankle of the second Crystal Warrior. What will you do? Will you cut the wire, try to lift the disc without setting off the trap, or will you leave it alone and go to the door? Should we cut the wire, try to lift the disc off the... without setting off the trap, or leave it alone and go to the door? Question mark. Yeah, I know, right, Wenchkin? Yeah, all obsidian is black. Oh, because it makes a specific reference, you mean? So, $vote space 1 to cut the wire. Also, I will note, by the way, about the lifting the disc. It asks if you have the pickpocket skill, which we do not have. So, that's going to be a problem.
What thief needs to be able to pickpockets, honestly?
I know, right? Exactly. Or do we leave it alone and go to the door? So $vote space 1 is to cut the wire. 2 is to try to lift the disc without setting off the trap. 3 is to leave it alone and go to the door. All right. Yes, I agree, Winchkin. Yes, I think Tari's call on this is right. I'm beginning to feel more and more like this is a test also.
Whoops.
Because why would a guy keep the Eye of the Basilisk and then like make it impossible for even him to get to? I mean, oh yeah, just climb this rope to go up to the top of this thing to do with the. All right, going once.
I mean, it could just be working on JRPG logic, right? Where all castles are mazes.
It's true. Or like there's one there's like in Super Mario Maker, there's always like a dev door to get to the end of the level that you created, like a secret door. So maybe they have like a secret way to just bypass the maze, but all right, going once, going twice. All right, we are going to cut the wire. As soon as the wire is cut, the Crystal Warrior attacks you. Well, damn it.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that? But the good news is we already beat one of these dudes. And we know now that we're using that thing from the beginning. So, well, not 100 skill. Hello. The way this is going to work here is, again, we are going to start. It's got a 16. We're going to start with a 10 skill, just like that. Every time we hit it, though, we're going to go up 1. So let's try to hit it, basically, is what we're looking at here. So we start with a 10, and then we're going to move up. So starting with a 16, we start with a 17. This is what I love to see. Now we are up to skill of 11. Oh, and it rolls a 20 on that one. Yeah. Oh, you got a lot of roll. You got a lot of active rolls this time, Winchkin. Oh my goodness, it actually hits us. Who would have thought it? Okay, that's fine. That's going to happen sometimes. It rolls a 22. Oh my God. So we're still sitting at 11. Still sitting at 11 for us. 13. Okay, still, that's fine. Still sitting at 11. Okay, this time it rolled a 13. I mean, we've had good dice rolls the whole time, so I'm not going to, I can't complain. Okay, that time we hit it. Now we're up to our 12 skill again. This time he rolls an 18. And we have plenty of provisions. So once we get done with this, we can have another one. 19, that is enough. So now it's down to 7, and we are now up to 13 skill. Here's where the momentum begins to build. It's got a 20. 24, nice. See? This is what I'm talking about. Now we're up to 14. He's got a 19 that he rolled. 19, so that's a tie, so we do not go up again. So we're still sitting at 14. Speaking of 14, he rolls a total of 14. We roll an 18. Okay, so now we're up to 15, and the warrior is officially in major trouble. He's got an 18. We're starting with a 15. 19, yep. Now we're up to 16. He is in enormous trouble. And in fact, go ahead and roll those last 2 dice, but he can't even win because he rolled less to begin with. So,
do you want to put my drawing back on stream?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, sorry. I was too busy, especially now that we've defeated the Crystal Warriors. So we don't have that one there. I will get rid of this. Aha! Oh my God, that's awesome. We have the caught in the web. Are you putting a spider on that, or are you just going to leave it as...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how at the moment.
Right now, this is an advertisement for Sandra Bullock's Caught in the Net. You are caught.
I have never heard of that one. I do know who Sandra Bullock is, but...
The Net is a terrible, movie. It was designed... It was supposed to be kind of like a... What happens when your identity is taken from you? But it came out before a lot of the stuff that actually is... disturbing about privacy was out there, so it just seemed kind of lame. Okay. Oh. If we win, we take the obsidian disc. Now, the obsidian disc counts as a backpack item, but my recommendation, chat, first of all, I'm not even, unless you object, I'm going to do this now, but tell me if you don't want me to. I'm going to remove one more provision. We're down to 7, just so we go back up to 19. I would recommend we get rid of our maze map, because we already went through the maze map, and replace it with the obsidian disc. So I'm just writing it down. Chat, are you okay with me doing that? take it, getting rid of the maze map, which we've already used. Lose the map. Okay, that's what Wenchun was saying anyway. So do that and then take the obsidian disc. Is that good, Triffid? Everybody who's voting on this? Everyone good with that? Yes, okay. All right. So we have the obsidian disc. You go through the door into another rock-cut chamber and find this. Oh, this is a big one. It's a big one. All right. Let me see if I can get this picture.
That works, right? Shadow of a spider.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. Although I have this image of it being like, it's bigger when you actually, when it arrives, like, you're super big.
Yeah, the perspective doesn't help.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Like, I would need to make the spider about this big. Which
oh
is
my
a bit
god,
much.
that is terrifying, even looking at it just from here. That's funny. Okay, so I don't have a picture for that, which means as I was looking over it, you moved it so it looked like the spider was literally crawling over the screen. I was like, objects in the shadow are closer than they appear. Yes, exactly. You go through the door into another rock-cut chamber and find... no! And find this. Let me move over to my screen. Here you go, my full screen. Look at that, chat.
Do we do a Indiana Jones thing now with
Exactly.
like a bag of sand?
Exactly. You find that you have reached the hiding place of the Eye of the Basilisk. The huge yellow gem stands on a black stone pillar in the center of the chamber, and a column of light shines from an unseen source, engulfing the gem and the pillar in light from floor to ceiling. You were elated to have come to the end of your quest, but your elation is tempered by caution. There is bound to be a final trap of some kind. What will you do now? Take the gem. Should we throw something to knock it out of the light? Or should we try to block the light? I know what we should try to block it with, because I think I just remember what it might be. So there we go, chat. Yep, Wenchkin's already ahead of it. Exactly what I was thinking, Wenchkin, was the obsidian disc to block the light. That's exactly what I was thinking. So $ vote space 1 to take the gem, $ vote space 2 to throw something to knock it out of the light, or $ vote space 3 to try to block the light. Hey, what's up, Dark Sinner? Trying to block the light. Trying just to block the light. Much better than... Okay, I'm going to last call this. Trying just to block the light. Do, 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 boo, 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 boo.
Boo?
I don't know. That was that's clearly the sound. It's an authentic boo, 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 boo. All right, going once. Going twice. Good to see you, Dark Sinner. And we're going to try to block the light. So, it asks, what have you got that can be used to block the light? Well, this is pretty easy because it asks, do we have a black cloak? And the answer is we don't. We got rid of our cloak. Do we have an obsidian?
Shite. I kept drawing us with the cloak on.
Well, I mean, we do have one, but not one that they count as like a, like a separate extra one. Still all good.
We had a smaller cloak under our first.
Yeah, like a mini cloak, an emergency cloak. I feel like every thief has to have an emergency cloak.
Of course.
Carefully, you move the obsidian disc into the light, because that's the only other option that gives you. As the light strikes the disc, it is absorbed and the disc is unharmed. You reach carefully beneath the disc to take the gem. The disc is very heavy to hold steady in the light one-handed, and it begins to waver. Roll 2 dice, please, Wenchkin. 2 6-sided dice.
First, the disc reflects like a mirror, and now it absorbs all the light. Am I getting this right?
Yes, which either means something strange about the light, or it means the writer kind of had a brain fart. One of those two. The result is equal to your skills.
Maybe it's reflective on one side, and the other side is painted with like Fanta black.
That must exactly. One is matte black, and one is actual shiny black on the other side. The result is equal to your skill score. We got really lucky that we had as high a skill we did, because there must have been like 12 skill checks in this book. There were a lot of skill checks. Okay. You keep the disc steady as you reach in beneath it to take the gem. Withdrawing the disc from the light, you hold the gem in both hands. You can hardly believe that you have passed the test. Then you look at the gem more closely and your heart sinks. There is a crack in one side and a small bubble in the middle. The gem is a fake, a worthless piece of glass. Son of a... As you stand looking at the fake gem, a secret door opens in the back of the chamber, and out steps Rennick, followed by several other prominent guild members. They are all smiling. In fact, we're already on to you. We knew this was the case already, just to be clear. There they all are.
I called it.
You called it. You did call it. 100%. Yes, I know it's a fake, grins Rennick. Just because you're an intelligent role player and a brilliant artist doesn't mean that you can take a victory lap just because you figured out our game. Okay. The whole job was. But the dangers were real enough, and you used your skills and equipment well to overcome them. You've passed your test, and the Guild Council, whom you see here, has no hesitation in admitting you to full membership of the Thieves' Guild of Port Blacksand. Your disappointment turns to a choking mixture of elation and relief as the other thieves crowd round to congratulate you. The end. Remember the Thieves' Guild. Let's go. We are officially a member of the Thieves Guild, chat. We did it. Midnight Rogue.
Amazing.
We did it. I liked Midnight Rogue. I thought the end part was a little like... I liked the part where we were sort of... I hate to say it this way, but more open-worldy. Where we were like running around and like trying to figure out the different things. And then it got to be a more traditional, like straight ahead linear thing. But still, yeah, exactly. The other thieves crowd around and backstab you. Good job. You're too good to live. God damn it. Good stuff though. Good stuff. This one was by Graham Davis. And so we defeated Midnight Rogue. And it took us 4 sessions, even though this was a shorter session, to be able to do it. In case you're curious, chat, we might even have enough time that I think we'll be able to at least do character creation for the next one before we stop. The next one is going to be quite different, as they always tend to be, because, and I love the sort of setup for this, book number 30, the 30th Fighting Fantasy book, believe it or not, and the last one that I have to order more of them after this, is Chasms of Malice. Yeah, look at that guy. That's right, that guy is malicious. And he's coming from a chasm. So it says, the great seals of Gorak have been broken, and the true shield is gone. The malice of Orguz has again been unleashed. As a direct descendant of Tancred the Magnificent, it's up to you, a simple assistant in the Underkitchens, to undertake the awesome quest for the shield. That's right. It's like, what is it? The Steven Seagal one where you're like just a cook, but like he's actually a badass. That's basically us. With the shining sword in your hand and the cat goddess Tabasha the Bazook at your side, you must enter the chasms of malice to seek out and destroy the evil Orguz. Interesting. And there are some interesting new mechanics in this as well. Under Siege, that's the one, Dark Sinner. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes they have a new mechanic in this called one-strike combat. Sometimes you have one good strike will win or lose a fight, which is interesting. And then other times it's sort of the standard, approach. Do I need some FF books? I mean, I've been using the physical ones, Wenchkin. I ended up having all the ones up to the last American one, which was like Trial of Champions or something, which was like 2122 or something like that. And then I ordered, and they were not expensive. I ordered the next 8 or 9 of these. You have all the physical ones from the 90s. Well, see, here's the thing. So for me, it was published in America under like Laurel Leaf or whatever. And in the UK, it was published under using the Penguin imprint. And I assume that's what the European generally was like that as it stands. So I don't know, like after book 30, I'm actually curious about this. After book 30.
Wait, I have one of the old ones in German actually here.
Oh, do you
I
really?
can tell you, yeah, I have Wall of Firetop Mountain, which was published by Goldman. So not by, there wasn't a universal European release. I'm assuming that the UK had their own release.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got a different publisher.
Yeah, the last one that I had was actually 22, which was Robot Commando, and then that was the last one they published in the US. And then they did. So the ones we've done so far actually on stream chat, check this out. Besides, remember, Tari and I have done, I don't know that all these were, some of these were me before Tari and I started doing illustrations, but we did a bunch of Lone Wolf ones. We did the Barbarian one and stuff. But
I can't check which the first one was. I think it actually was Warlock of Firetop.
No, couldn't have been because we've done like 29 of these books.
Crypt of the Necromancer.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds right. That sounds right. Because what we did was, so here are the book listings. So Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Citadel of Chaos, Forest of Doom, Starship Traveler, City of Thieves, Death Trap Dungeon, Island of the Lizard King, Scorpion Swamp. None of these were ones involving you yet, Tari. Caverns of the Snow Witch, House of Hell, Talisman of Death. The first one that we might have done, although I don't think so. It was
Crypt of the Necromancer, yeah.
It was Crypt of the Necromancer?
Yeah.
Which was Sorcerer here. Crypt of the Sorcerer, right. So we did...
Oh, Crypt of the Sorcerer.
So it was Temple of Freeway Fighter. That was Space Assassin. Freeway Fighter was like the Mad Max one. Temple of Terror, The Rings of Kether, Seas of Blood, that's the pirate one. Appointment with Fear, that's the superhero one. Rebel Planet, that was another space one.
Oh, oops, I clicked the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Now it's decentered.
Oh, it's okay. I'll fix it in a second. Demons of the Deep is the pirate one. Sword of the Samurai is obviously was Asiatic, Japanese, basically. Trial of Champions is basically going back to Death Trap Dungeon. Then Robot Commando is basically like another space, flying space opera type one. Masks of Mayhem. I don't remember the Masks of Mayhem one exactly, but that was, I'm not sure. Creature, I mean, I know we did it, but I don't remember it. Creature of Havoc is the one where you actually are a monster. That one was kind of interesting.
Yeah, we did that one, I think.
No, I don't think so because we hadn't reached Crypt yet. Beneath Nightmare Castle, and then we picked up Crypt of the Sorcerer. Then we did that one. Then we did Star Strider. You remember that was the one with like the laser sword?
Yeah, with the, oh God, what was his name? The Prince something, or based him on Prince.
Oh God, yeah.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord, yeah.
That one was fun to draw.
And then Phantoms of Fear, which is the last one we did, and then Midnight Rogue. Are you sure the first one we did was Crypt of the Sorcerer? So
That's the oldest one I have in here.
So we've only done 4 fighting fantasy game books, really? I mean, I have done all of them.
We did do a few other ones. That's the thing. We did the whole Sherlock Holmes thing, and then like
we did the Lord of the Rings. We did Middle Earth too, didn't we? We did a couple of Middle Earth.
Yeah, we did 2 books of that one.
And we did Lone Wolf. Okay, yeah. Now I'm starting to remember. Okay, so yeah, so we did a bunch of those. So now we're up to publication date wise, 1988. Chat. So it was Chasms of Malice is 1988. And did you know, by the way, that all of the sections of every single book that exists up until 1995 is all 400 entries. They were always required to be read at 400 entries. So so Chasms of Malice, let me see. And then after that, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 29. Wow. There's 29 more of those. And then I know there are new ones. Oh, yeah. And then he did the Scholastic ones. Then he did Assassins of Alonzia. Is that right? No, he did The Port of Peril. So that's 30. Then he did The Gates of Death. That's 31. Assassins of Alonzia is 32. Crystal of Storms, which is actually written by Rhianna Pratchett, Terry Pratchett's kid. That's interesting. It's 43. Secrets of Salaminus, which is Steve Jackson, 44. And then Shadow of the Giants, 45. And Ian Livingstone has another one that's not yet been announced title, which is coming out next year. Yeah, 1980s. 1980s. We had most of them, a lot of them came out in the 1980s. The last of the sort of first series stopped in 1995. And then there was a pause, and then they started publishing them again they did like a republication thing in 2002. And then they started republishing other ones after that. Actually, there's a few others. Storm Slayer, Blood Bones. Those were like 2009. And then they did the ones that I was just mentioning. And now they're all the way up to, and now they're being published by Scholastic. And now they're all the way up to, the most recent one was last year. Shadow of the Giants, which came out last year in hardback. Interesting. So there are a lot of these. Interesting. Very cool. Okay. So now, I'm very curious to see what this last one's going to be. All right. Well, while Tari is working on this last one, we are going to bid a fond farewell to No Man Greyblade. Great job, No Man. You're the best around. No one's ever going to keep you down. And we successfully became the thief we always knew we could be. 2003. Awesome. Okay. And now we are going to close this. All right. Hang on a second. I'm going to relaunch ArvBot. I'm going to relaunch the polls. There we go. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we are going to character create, and then we will be able to, the next time we play next month, we will lead off with this one. So, okay. So here we go. So this is going to be for Chasms of Malice. All right. So as per usual, we are going to be determining our own strengths and weaknesses. So the question here that we have to decide, chat, is, let's see, we're going to, all right, so we're going to have skill, stamina, and luck, as always. But before we roll all of those, we need to figure out, most of all, a name. So the question is, let's take nominations. All right, sounds good. Thanks for the great rolls today, Wenchkin. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and sleep well. And thanks for helping make No Man Greyblade the thief that they always thought they could be. Sleep well. Okay. Right. So here we go. Nominations, not for the. Oh wait, is this actually? Is it nominations for Chat Chosen Game of the Month today too? I think it might be. That's fine. We'll do that right after we finish with creation. And I'm still looking at your. Is that you being like uplifted? Them being uplifted as they did this?
Yes.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Right. Let's see. Yes, it is nominations today. Okay, good. So we will do nominations today. Lovely. Okay, but first we're going to do a name. So now remember, our hero this time has got to, as I said, has to find the true shield and destroy the evil Orgas. And we are a simple assistant in the under kitchens. So we have to be a cook that also becomes an awesome warrior. So with that in mind, give me an example. Give me some suggestions for names, chat. We're going to take some nominations for names of our character. We have done men, we've done women, we've done non-binary, we've done monsters. It says simply that we are a direct descendant of Tancred the Magnificent. So I think we're human, but we are human and descended from Tancred the Magnificent. We are in the kingdom of, let's see, Gorak is a minor kingdom. It says. So, yeah. So we are the air. Mancred the mediocre. Okay, let's see. So we got Scully, the Scullion. Mancred the mediocre.
Boaty McBoatface.
We have not choosing that. Mick, no. But you can always put a name in there, to nominate. Except not Bodie McBoatface.
Why not?
Because that is not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Just because they allowed that in the UK doesn't mean we have to allow it here. Palms Fritz. I see what you did there. Dark Sinner. Palms Fritz.
Woof.
That's great. Palms Fritz. See, I don't mind little joke. That's fine. I'm all about that. Like if you were to do, I don't know, Bodhi, not Bodhi, like
That's a character from Baldur's Gate 2.
What?
Bodhi.
Yeah, but not okay. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that Bodhi McBoatface. I'm like, no, that was that lame.
No, it's just Bodhi, not Bodhi McBoatface. That would be hilarious, though.
All right, Scully the Scullion, Mancred the Mediocre, Palms Fritz, Arvin Adim, Chad the Chef, and anyone else. Theodore the Terrific? Okay. All right, I'll take one more if we have any. Otherwise, we will vote on what we have. Theodore the Terrific. Excuse me.
And if I don't?
Then just accept my cough in your ear.
Okay. Fair.
It's like my favorite. I've watched a fair bit of Street Fighter 6. Watching some of the incredible players play this, and one of the finishing moves for Dalsim, who is this like yoga master fighter type, is so he throws you up in the air. He starts doing this thing with his like 1,000-hand slap that's like stretchy arms because his big thing is incredibly flexible and all this stuff. And then he says, but as you do this in the air, he's just like, this was preordained. And then he leaps up into the air, accept it. And then he just dives down and basically drills in and does an incredible amount of damage to the person. So I was just thinking about that. Accept it. That's the answer. If you don't excuse me, you can just accept my cough. Gregorius, huh? Is that what you say, Dragonspear? All right. That, I think, is a good choice. So here we go, chat. We'll take the top 3 vote getters, and then we'll narrow it down to the top 2. So please get your votes. If we only have 2 vote getters, we'll take those top 2. Scully the Scullion, Mancred the Mediocre, Palms Fritz, Arvin Adim, Chad the Chef, Theodore the Terrific, or Gregorius.
Oh, I have the canvas mirrored, so that doesn't make any sense.
Were you writing "A winner is you"? A winner is you. All right, we have 1 vote each for Scully, Palms, and Theodore the Terrific. I will last call this. Sounds like we're in end credit music on Thief. Nope, I'm wrong. We're not. That's good, actually, because we have a little more time. All right. So going once. Going twice. Okay. So that means that these are your top vote getters. And I'm going to clear, 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 and clear. Okay. Scully the Scullion, Palms Fritz, and Theodore the Terrific. Okay, top 2 vote getters. We'll get to the final round here. Top 2 vote getters. Vote either for Scully, Palms, or Theodore. Scully the Scullion, Palms Fritz, or Theodore the Terrific.
Don't know what to put.
How about, let's see.
Oh, I know.
All right, we have 2 votes for Theodore. Right now, if Scully or Palms does not change their vote, then probably what that would mean is that Theodore would end up just winning by default. So Theodore's going to win unless Scully or Palms changes to, well, either Theodore or changes to the other one. So if the Scully vote wants to change to Palms or Palms wants to vote to change to Scully, then we'll have a face-off between those 2 vote getters. Otherwise, it'll be Theodore doing all of the things. I like how we started with Mancred the Mediocre, and then now Theodore the Terrific is the leader in the clubhouse. You're like, no, in fact, this. You done did it. You done did it. I like, No Man's expression is really funny in this, as if No Man's just like, I did. Like, it's just it's like
What?
holding the fake gem.
That was, in fact, the idea here.
I love it. Okay. Last call. If this vote situation does not change, then Theodore the Terrific will be the winner. Going once. Going twice. All right. Theodore the Terrific it is. Theodore the Terrific. All right. Very nice. Theodore the Terrific it is. Okay. Theodore wins. Yeah, how many names of yours have been chosen, Echo? Do you remember how many of yours have been chosen over time? One strike combat. This is all fairly standard. Sitara Shadow Space. Yeah. I think I remember that. That might have been for one of the ones that we were talking about, like the Rebel Planet or Star Strider or one of those. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so what we need to do is just get our skill, stamina, and luck. And while I'm on that subject, let me add that. Look. Okay. So can I have someone roll? And you folks know how to do that now, having seen Wenchkin do it. It is just if you type in $ roll, I think it is. Yeah, $ roll space and then 2d6. So, except it's 1d6 in this case. So if someone is willing to go $ roll space 1d6, then we'll add 6 to that number and we'll enter the total in the skill box. Oh no. So our roll, okay, that was a warm up. I'm going to see if we can do that again. I don't want to do a book with a skill of 7 if I can avoid it. Let's try that one more time. Oh, actually, Echo, I'm sorry, I missed that. Echo did 3. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to take Echoes then. No offense, Triffid. I don't want a 7. Okay, so we've got a 9. Lovely. Okay, that's reasonable. Okay, now, Echo, let me have you roll stamina. So that's $ roll space 2d6. And for our stamina. Yeah, 9 is functional. 7 is not functional. Oh, man. So we have 6 stamina. All right. Well, 18 stamina is what that works out to. That's not terrible. We can work around that. And then we need one more 1d6 roll. One more 1d6 roll, please, Echo. And that's going to give us our luck total. Okay, so Echo rolled a 5. Sorry, Dark Sinner. I would have had you do it, but Echo rolled first in this case, which actually is probably better for us because it means we get an 11. All right, so we have 11 out of 11. These rolls are fine. Okay, and then everything else is pretty standard with one exception, which I think is kind of cool. And that is we don't have any gold, but I think we do have provisions. So I am going to make that little adjustment here. Provisions. We have enough provisions for 5 meals. No, it's no problem, Dark Center. Those. Okay, and then we have this magic cat.
Magic cat?
A magic cat. We start our adventure with a bare minimum of equipment. We have a sword. Very standard. We have leather armor because we've added a U for no reason. Or more. And then we have a backpack. Standard. But we also have Tabasha the Bazook, a noble cat from the race of cat goddesses. She will aid you on your quest. You may call on her at any time except when you're engaged in a battle to restore your initial skill or luck. You can only call on her once for this facility, and you must decide which initial score you want her to restore before you set off on your quest. So, Tabasha, the Bazook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, the question is, chat, I'm going to ask in chat, normally what we do in this situation is, we usually pick luck. And the reason for that is because with our luck, luck is the one that goes down. Skill can go down, but skill can sometimes be increased or picked up again when you pick up different weapons and stuff. Stamina goes up and down all throughout the course of the adventure, so there's no reason to do that. In this case, it's just skill or luck. So we normally do luck. However, this one does not add a point to our initial luck when we use it. It just restores our luck. So the question is, do you want Tabasca to restore skill or luck? So that's the question, chat. Skill or luck? $ vote space 1 means that she'll restore skill. $ vote space 2 means that she'll restore luck. And then the other cool thing about her is that throughout your adventure, she will help you by adding to provisions and in various other ways. There's specific instructions that it gives us on the pages, but you can only call on the Bazook 9 times total. And once you've used up your 9 options, you cannot call on the Bazook again, which I think is kind of interesting, actually. So yes, so $ vote space 1 if you wanted to restore luck. $ vote space 2 if you want her to be able to restore skill. 1 luck,
done.
2 skill. Yay, we done did it. Awesome. We're going to go over this in just a minute, actually.
My coffee. You. That is very cool.
I'm gonna have us go through these in just a minute. I love that you done did it.
You will.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 votes for luck and 1 vote for skill. So, or actually no votes for skill so far. Last call here. It's better to be lucky than good. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, and then there's also, I don't know what this means, but the 7 Kudam of Orguz are named on your adventure sheet, and you must mark off any names that you have beaten in combat. Okay, that seems ominous. All right, the names are, you ready for this, Tara? You'll love these. Geshrak, Gerskut,
Okay.
Friankara. Barkek. Like, I assume it's not K-E-K. Barkek. Griffkek. Shurka. And Mongolian folk music. No, I made that last one. Karak. So those are the names, apparently, of the deadly creatures that we have to concern ourselves with at some point. I don't know what that means, but we'll find out when we play it, which is not going to be now. Barkek and Griffkek must be siblings. No, we just won Flying Enemy. We just won Midnight Rogue. This is just character creation. We're not going to start for Chasms of Malice. We're not going to start Chasms of Malice today, but this is for next time. Okay. So, so going once, going twice. So luck it is. So Tabasca is going to be about the luck.
Kitty cat comes to say hi.
Hello, Lorelai.
Attention. He's like, me.
What about me? What about me? Okay.
Yep.
Very awesome. So the next time that we have... there is one other different thing, though. Check this out. There's also fuel. You are also given the option to cook some of your food. On the adventure sheet, you will find a fuel box. Collect any fuel that you can find and mark it in the fuel box. In certain cases, you may be instructed to add a further 2 stamina points for cooking a meal. Oh, and also, I was wrong about the Tabasco thing because it didn't say it when it should have. Also, is it Tabasco? Or it's Tabasha, not Tabasco. Tabasha. Tabasco sauce. Apparently, she also restores and increases luck. Like the luck potion usually does. So it makes even more sense to do it that way. So I'm glad that we chose luck. Good stuff by us. Okay. So there's also a fuel box. That's very cool. That is not one that I had seen before. Fuel. Right now we are at 0. Okay. We have all of those ready to go. And next time, but not for now, but next time we will do this Chasms. I do not own Dead of, I knew the whole time. It was exactly, you do the whole time. I don't own Dead of Night. No, we were just talking about the fact that there's another like 40 books past this or something, some ungodly number. And I only have up to 30 and then I'll get some more because I was able to order these last time. So it's going to be very cool. Okay, so we're going to clear this and then we're going to save Theodore the Terrific, which is our Chasms of Malice person. And we will pick that up next time, and then we're going to go and check out the pictures, the amazing drawings that Tari did today. Okay, Fighting Fantasy Gamebook save files. This is going to be Chasms of Malice.
Lorelai is kneading the air, very satisfied. It's like looking like... I'm comfortable. I'm getting attention.
Very happy with all of that. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Okay. Right. Okay. So now, chat, Theodore the Terrific. Okay. So let's take a look at what we did today with the illustrations. He's all quite clearly a little goofy. Yeah. It's No Man is a non-binary and quite pleased with themselves thief after what they went through. So today we began with this. This was No Man who was determined. I'm going to become a member of the Thieves Guild no matter what it takes. That was No Man. Okay. This was when we were going to battle our own shadow, but instead we used the torch to basically disrupt it and did not have to battle our own shadow. But otherwise we would have had to fight this, which would have been sort of disturbing if we had that. Very good stuff. I like that one a lot. This is the one where there is this dwarf, supposedly, but it actually turned out to be a shapeshifter that was trying to get us to come close to the bars, and we managed to escape before it turned into a shapeshifter. Did you get I think you did sort of get the effect, right, that you wanted of the bar in front of the thing? Yeah.
I think it reads well enough. It's not perfect, but, quick draws be like that.
I love it. I love it. This is good stuff. Darksaber 2K's dwarf. A little bit, Echo. A little bit. All right, that was good.
Where's my mouse cursor? There. The screens are too big. I hate it.
Yes, this is where we fought the spider, where the spider dropped down on top of us, And before, Tari was just like, yeah, like this, and then was moving the spider around the web so as to terrify no man. But we defeated the spider, and then we climbed all the way up into, and I think it was right around this point, I want to say, when we started climbing the rope, the web of the spider, this is where you were like, this is starting to feel like a test to me. And I think that was basically it. Triffid is asking you to do the animation again.
Yes. Find the layer. The thing is, I don't have the tablet on my lap anymore because now I have a cat on my lap.
Now you have a cat on your lap.
I have to kind of lean over the desk now.
Well, can't Lorelai do? Ah! Look, chat, the immersion is real. You are there. Yeah. So there was that one. Triffid is very happy about that.
Yeah, I meant to do the crystal dudes, but before I could get to that, we were already done. So
I know.
I just did the finishing drawing.
And then this one, you done did it, where we're holding that fake gem, but more importantly, we are officially a member of the Thieves Guild. Good stuff. How many drawings total do we have for this one, Tari?
Well, the book overall, not counting some doodles that I did in between where we had technical issues. Let's see. 5. 20.
20 drawings. Wow.
Yes.
It did. So that was an average, and we did 4 sessions, so about an average of 5 per. Yeah. was that one of the ones? That's where you were thinking through some of the emotes, maybe?
No, that was when you were having technical
problems,
and
yeah.
I was just trying to pass the time.
I remember.
Yeah.
with
Mike
just
drawing Fifi blobs.
And now we have many more Fifis on.
Oh yeah,
board.
the very first one that I did because I was having sleeping issues.
Oh yeah, you were so tired. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-portrait. So yeah, not counting these 3, 20.
20. Nice. That was a good one. How did you how'd you feel about this book, Tari?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't enjoy this as much as some of the other ones we did. But mainly I think it's all about sneaking and stuff, which is not super my thing, I guess. Though the ending was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yep.
You passed the test.
Called it. You'll diminish and go into the Thieves Guild.
Yeah.
But now this one, I think a cover like this this one's not sneaky. I feel like this one is straight up, we're going to be fighting as Steven Seagal.
Oh, God.
We are marked to death. We are marked for death. And there's one, let's see. Let's see if I can find randomly from one thing. There's... Oh, that's one of the warriors. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to find an illustration. Here we go. Here. See, right like this. It looks like a dwarf breaking free.
Yeah, I have to wait for the stream to catch up.
Yeah,
it's super delayed for me.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah.
Like a slave uprising or that kind of thing. So could be something like that. Anyway.
That art is super nice.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
I love these old ink illustrations with just black and white, no and just hatching,
I do too. There's also
no soft shading.
One more. I have no idea what any of this means, by the way. But it looks like you're just falling down a waterfall in a boat.
Nice.
So it'll be a little bit more in that way, I think. But this was great, Tari, and I'm going to let you go so I can do nominations for Game of the Month. Where will the lovely folks see you next for our things?
Some point on one of the following Tuesdays here for another session of not Adventures in Middle-earth.
Nope.
Lord of the Rings role-playing.
That's right, with Shire Adventures.
Shire Adventures, yes.
Shire Adventures.
at, oh God, what time is that for you? Like 4?
That is, yes. So that would be 4 o'clock.
4
I don't
p.m.?
think it's next week. I think it's 2 weeks, I want to say,
I don't know. One of those.
is when the plan is. Yeah.
You let me know.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll tell you right now. It is, yes, it's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is when
Okay.
we'll be doing, finishing up with the most excellent adventure, fireworks.
So
which we
next week
started this
is
last time.
chosen chat game of the month.
That's actually going to be on Friday the 22nd.
Ooh,
It
so
looks
what is
like.
next Tuesday?
So next Tuesday is Starfield.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. Because I think we were going to do no. So the 15th. Okay, let me back. There's too much. Let me back up. I think the 15th is going to be the conclusion of Styx. Also, my birthday is this Saturday, and we may or may not be streaming. I don't know yet. And so then after that will be, if we haven't finished Styx, because it only takes one more session to do that, then we will finish that, and then we're going to be moving on to Starfield. So that is the plan. But this was amazing. Tari, where can they find all of your amazing artwork and stuff, besides all the emotes that you now can use on our channel, of course, besides that?
Thank you. People can follow me on Tumblr and on Instagram at TariToons. And on Tumblr also at Tari's Backyard. Which is where I post everything that isn't my art, and occasionally some work in progress stuff, but that's not that interesting in my opinion. But if you do care and want to see me make stupid jokes and whatever, you can go follow me there.
And the heraldry webcam, the heraldry webcam, webcomic, heraldry webcomic?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I run a webcomic called Penelope's Little Heraldry, which is basically explaining stuff about heraldry to people who don't know shit about heraldry. Because I don't think there is, like, the main issue I find is that, like, there is not a lot of ready available good information out there online, especially not in English. There is a shit ton of scams and misinformation and what have you out there. Yeah, my goal is to just tidy up some misconceptions out there.
Is this? Are you running this on? I found it on Reddit, but where is the actual like?
Oh yeah, I also post these on Reddit, I guess. No, I post these on my Tumblr at TariToons.
Oh, okay.
So people have suggested to me to make a designated website, but I think I'll make that when I have a few more of these.
Okay.
So
in the meantime, I see it. Yeah. So as an example, chat, I'm going to post in here. That is number 3. The webcomic number 3 is one way there.
Yes. Featuring the coat of arms of one Sir Terry Pratchett, GNU.
Oh, interesting. Second time Pratchett came out today.
Did you notice?
Now I do, now that I look at it. I was just trying to get the link before, but yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool.
So yeah, just silly little stuff explained in as simple terms as I can, with lots of image examples and stuff like that, because not a lot of accessible stuff out there. So
yeah, that's very cool. So if you want to know more about them, yeah, you definitely should check all of that stuff out, because of course, as you can tell, Tari is a wonderful artist, so you should definitely check that out. Oh, thank you, Triffid. Now you have your own command, Tari Coat.
Oh wow.
So Tari Coat. So now you just link Tari Coat, and you'll be able to go over that. And eventually, when we get the whole we can adjust that link. But the point is that will give us something to work with. So,
yes.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Tari, for doing this. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing Tari? And Tari, I will see you a couple weeks for Shire Adventures.
Yes.
And next month for Cousins of Mouse. Till then, goodbye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir. Howdo.
All right. Good stuff, everybody. Okay, so now, last thing we have to do, and then I got to head out of here, is we have nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. So, if there is a game you would like me to play, please let me know. Only one nomination per person, please. And I reserve the right to veto it if I have already played it or am going to be playing it on my own, so you don't need to nominate it, or if it's like a horror game or something that I just really don't want to. Star Control 2. Okay, that's good. You're getting that in for Prince Justin. Star Control 2. All right. What else we got? Oh, yes, Die by the Sword. I know that Eka wanted to do that one. Okay. Star Control 2, Die by the Sword. Do we have any other nominations for games you would like me to play? Excuse me. Star Control 2 rather, Die by the Sword. Oh, nice. And that is the end of the Thief OST. So it's cool. Good stuff. Yeah, I have seen a little bit of it, so I know kind of the basics of it, Echo. And that's fine. All right. Anybody else? We have Star Control 2 or Die by the Sword. Any other nominations for the chat chosen game of the month? Star Control 2, Die by the Sword. Anybody else? Okay. I will happily take that, Effect Life. Songs of Conquest. Oh yeah, I think you told me about this last time, right? Effect Life, I believe. I want to say that you had mentioned this to me before because it sounded familiar. All right. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. Okay. Going once then? Any other nominations? If not, then we can just actually take these three. If there are no other nominations, then these three will be fine to just add to the straw poll. Going once. Going twice. Okay. There are your three nominations. So Star Control 2, Die by the Sword, and Songs of Conquest. And we're going to get those put up and linked to the next game poll. Echo has got the straw poll ready to go, as always. Thank you. And then we're going to add that to the command. So you can vote for one of these three. This is going to be up until next Tuesday. And then next Tuesday we will from there we will wrap it up and then we will play that. As I say, I have to figure out a little bit in just terms of like kind of confirming what is which time, but I think I know what the times are for those days and so on. So but that's the deal with that. And this is good timing because now I have to go get myself ready for D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So I'm glad that we were able to do some of the game book illustration because it has been a little while. And I'm glad that we were able to get back into this because I really enjoy doing these. It's always fun to hang out with Tari, and it's always fun to do this stuff with all of you lovely folks. So... okay, so that is all set and we're all ready to go. If you liked what you saw and heard today, I hope you will consider following the channel. I hope you will consider checking out our YouTube with !ArvTube, Discord with !ArvCord, Twitter with !ArvTweets, Blue Sky with !ArvSky, website arvaneleron.com, financially !ArvShop is the merchandise area, !ArvTreon is the Patreon, and subbing to the channel is always appreciated. And don't forget that we have a subathon coming up as well 2 weeks from this Friday, which is going to take place Friday and Saturday, 29th and 30th. Very excited for this. There's a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be doing as a part of that. But again, more details about that. I've already given those once, but I'll actually be announcing details probably tomorrow on Twitter and Blue Sky, so you'll be able to see it there as well. So you'll definitely not want to miss the first ever channel subathon. You will definitely not want to miss that as we go through. That is, let's see, oh yes, and the publishing side of things, exclamation point. By the way, September also, I should remember, is September, so it's actually cheaper for people who are doing their first time subs, and who are, it's cheaper as well for people who are upgrading tier subs. Twitch picks up a little bit of the cost, but I still get the same amount on the channel, so that's always a good thing, so please consider doing that. In addition to that, publishing side, exclamation point Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts, exclamation point Library, Sia Echo for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and exclamation point Greyshade. Again, first two books of the Grey Assassin trilogy, Greyshade and Renegade, are already out. You can order those, plus you can order the audiobook of Greyshade by Trent Sparks, all available at that link. You can also pre-order Heretic, which is the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy. That's coming out next year. And also you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game being done by Brandon O'Brien and Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is being play-tested later this month at Big Bad Con. You can pre-order that at that exclamation point Greyshade link as well. And as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war, and send the message that we will do so with others in a similar situation in the future. One quick note on scheduling. 4:15 p.m. I'm going to be over on GOG.com's Twitch channel, as I said, playing D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. However, I'll also be back here tonight, remember, at 9 p.m. Eastern, when I will be with my wonderful voice team, the Vocalists, playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, and we will have the full kitted out crew tonight. We will have KP, we will have Rem Alternus, we will have Zach Clay, and the newest member of the Vocalists, who is now a permanent member, and that is Indy Jordan Gonzalez, who is going to be joining us as well for more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. So if you want to get your true justice on, make sure you're back here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for that as well. Thank you to my wonderful mods who were great all day today. Thank you to Dragonspear and to Triffity Mats. Thank you so much for being the best in the business. Thank you as well to my subscribers and Patreon supporters, Dragon, Triffid, Effect Life, and Wenchkin. Thanks for all the dice rolls, Wenchkin. And thank you to my wonderful viewers tonight, Sandy Villette, H. Fidesz, Bitamin, Black Fury, Dark Sinner, and all the folks that were here before and during the stream. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. And thanks, everyone. This was a good time. I'm excited, and we have successfully completed Midnight Rogue. Midnight Rogue is complete. Next up is going to be Chasms of Malice, which we will do next month. But for right now, I'm going to go rise on up and get ready for, in just about an hour, over at GOG.com's Twitch channel, D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other, and I will catch you folks all soon. Everyone be good to each other, and bye for now.